is madness. It's madness if I don't put in the work. It's madness if I don't believe.
So if they think that you are mad, let them talk. Let them wonder. Because the madness sets you apart from everyone else.
I am committed, and I don't care if this thing takes everything I have. I'm going after it.
You will believe even when others don't. Bring the madness.
And so let me look crazy for a season, and I'll live the rest of my life like a legend.
Yeah. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come.
Hello everybody and welcome to Champion Stadium on the campus of Shiloh Christian School, where tonight the Shiloh Saints kick off the 2024 season as they host the Farmington Cardinals in the first of three non-conference games in 2024. I'm Billy Blunt along with Cliff Anderson, who will join us this year again on the broadcast. And Cliff, as we come in, 2023 started in the Rock, ended in the Rock, just didn't get the trophy at the end, but our fifth straight appearance in the state championship game, which is what you want, the expectation of the program here at Shiloh. And Cliff, as the 24 season comes, feels like the last few years it's just new change, new opportunity. This year, our 24 Saints have got a lot on their plate.
Absolutely, and you said it right. I mean, with change comes a new opportunity, and a couple changes and opportunities that this 2024 Shiloh Saint football team has before them is they are in a totally new classification. It seems like just a year or two ago we were in 4A and we bounced through 5A the past two seasons, and now here we are bouncing up to 6A. This team, this coaching staff, this school, we're embracing it. That's where the AAA has us, and that's where we are now. So we're in Class 6A, and we are just nipping at the heels of the Bentonville Tigers and the Fayetteville Bulldogs. We'll be up there before you know it. But right now, 6A, new conference, the 6A West. And Class 6A, there's two conferences, only 16 teams that are in Class 6A around the state. You got a 6A East, and then you've got the 6A West. I'll talk about that real briefly here. We are in the 6A West. And with that also, new conference, new classification comes new opponents. I counted on our schedule, the regular season schedule here. We have five schools, five football teams we will play on the road to the Little Rock this season that Shiloh has never played at the varsity level on Friday nights. Those five schools: Mountain Home, Fort Smith Southside, who dropped down from 7A, so there'll be a big test for our Saints as we play them here in a few weeks. The Russellville Cyclones, my alma mater. I never thought that there would be a day that I would call a Russellville Shiloh football game, because Russellville is just always larger. But here we are in 2024. Lake Hamilton, never played them, and Van Buren, never played them in varsity action on a Friday night. I left out one team that is staring us as we kick off the conference season. We'll talk about it more in the coming weeks, but those are the Greenwood Bulldogs, who we have an all-time record. We played them 10 times. We're 3-7 against Greenwood, looking to make it 4-7, and staring the Bulldogs, who won state championship last year over Little Rock Christian at the 6A level. Greenwood, 11-time state champs. And did this little research here, if I can find it on my notes. 228-33 the past 20 years the Greenwood Bulldogs are. We're not playing Greenwood tonight, so I don't have to key in on that. I'm just setting the table for what is going to be a very exciting season as we kick it off tonight against our neighbors right down the road, the Farmington Cardinals. And then every week it's just going to be special, home and away, as, again, we try to make it 6 straight trips to a state championship game appearance.
Well, Cliff, you talk about the 2024 Saints. There's some names back that you'll recognize. Cole Creighton, of course, the quarterback. You'll see Griffin Mason, who ran the ball a lot last year as a sophomore, and you'll see Cohen Beach, who played as a freshman. Dalton Cards, who was probably one of our best receivers at the end of the year last year, who's a senior. And so, Cliff, talk about the 2024 Saints. Hey, you're playing 6A football. You have to have good quality depth to win at this level.
Yeah, you really do, and that'll be interesting to see just as we go throughout the season. As you're looking here, if you're watching online, the video, the doors to the locker room opening, the first thing you see is Sean Morgan, our school resource officer, and his loaded up gun and body and all that there. Not that we have issues here, but he's prepared just in case. See Coach Tucker Barnard in his second season, very successful coach through the years, but looking to improve on last season's success. But you're right. At the 6A level, I mean, we're going to be playing teams once we get into conference play. They're going to have 80 to 110 players. Shiloh will come out on the field tonight with, I think, 60 or 61. And so man-wise, we are down in our numbers as far as comparing us to 6A schools. But we're actually kind of up because really through the years at the 4A and 5A level, Shiloh has been anywhere from about 45 to 50 players out there. So we are up in our numbers. The younger grades, you know, you coach 6th grade football. We've got great athletes and great numbers. So Shiloh is building and preparing to be here in 6A and even take that step to 7A at some point in the future probably. So we're in great shape, but it will be interesting to see this first year in 6A, this first season in the 6A West, again, playing teams, like I mentioned, the Mountain Homes, the Greenwoods, the Fort Smith Southside. And when you look ahead to the playoffs, the 6A East teams, if you're not familiar with that, I mean, you're talking teams like Benton, right outside of Little Rock there, Marion, West Memphis, Little Rock Catholic, El Dorado, all those teams made the playoffs last year. Speaking of playoffs, a new thing in 6A that is different than 4A and 5A is we have 8 teams in our conference. 6 make the playoffs. So Shiloh expects to win the conference, and we expect to be the 1 seed going into the playoffs. There are 2 byes from the 6A West. So if you finish first or second in the conference, you will have a first-round bye in the playoffs. That's a little different than what we've experienced with more teams in 5A and 4A that we've had in the past.
Yeah, seeding becomes really important in the playoffs as you get the byes, and obviously you get a home field out throughout what you want to go throughout the playoffs. So our opponent tonight, the Farmington Cardinals, a team that we know well. They were in the 5A West with Shiloh last year. A very entertaining game at Farmington last year. The Cardinals got a last-minute touchdown to pull one out after the Saints had a halftime lead. Really were in control of that game last year, Cliff, against Farmington, and then Farmington had a big second half, made a big play and scored.
Absolutely, and because of that game, we tied for the conference championship. Because they beat us the head-to-head, they got the 1 seed in the playoffs. Shiloh got the 2 seed. Well, how did that fare for both teams? Farmington lost in the first round at home to Camden Fairview, 43-29. So they didn't make good on winning conference and being the 1 seed. Shiloh, what did they do? They just rolled through the playoffs and got to the state championship game before getting beat by Little Rock Parkview. So, yeah, you want to win conference. You want to be the number 1 seed. It does really bode well as you get into the playoffs. But we've seen it done that you can be a lower seed and still make a run as you see the coin tosses happen there. And, you know, so many people, you look across the stands there of the field, so many families and work relationships and neighborhood relationships, friendships between these 2 schools. Obviously, Shiloh's a private school, and so we draw from the region. Farmington has their local public schools there, and so there's just a lot of people we go to church with, that we work with, and see on a daily basis that is cheering on the red and white across the field while we're cheering on the blue and gold tonight.
So Farmington comes in with a lot of change themselves. Coach Eldridge, who was there, did such a great job at Arkadelphia before that. Then at Farmington, he left to go into the private sector. And in comes Tommy Tice, a name most folks in the state of Arkansas are familiar with, a long-time Harrison Goblin coach, Arkansas Hall of Famer. He's come back. He will be on the sidelines directing the Cardinals this year and their football team. And with Coach Eldridge actually leaving, you're going to see a number 0 on the field for the Shiloh Saints tonight, as his son, who's a freshman, will be playing for the varsity Saints this year on the field. Max, he'll get some playing time as well. So as Farmington gets ready to go through. So, Cliff, let's talk about our Saints a little bit. From an offensive standpoint, you have the dynamic sophomore quarterback Cole Creighton. As we mentioned, Max Eldridge, the freshman running back, you'll see him, but Griffin Mason. So we have some weapons on offense, a lot of returning players. No Bo Williams, that we've called his name a lot the last couple years, but no lack of talent on the offensive side.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is my 14th season to call Shiloh football games, and every year I kind of think, who's going to be, we lost this guy, we lost this receiver, we lost this quarterback, this running back, this linebacker. Who's going to be the next guy? Well, guess what? And I know this term is overused a lot, but it is seriously next man up here at Shiloh. And, again, all the way down to youth league, development happens at a young age. And, when that senior graduates and that next class comes through and they're playing on Friday nights under the lights, it's just the next person. And as you said, some of these names will be familiar because they played some last year. Some will be new. But it does start with the quarterback, Cole Creighton. Did not have the freshman season, his first season at Shiloh, as the Saints are running onto the field here on opening night for 2024. But Cole Creighton didn't have the season that he wanted to. Gets injured in the first game and has to miss a lot of the season, comes back during the playoffs and helps out some, does a great job. But he is back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. He's bigger, stronger, and I think he just understands the system so much better now being a sophomore than he did as a ninth grader. So that's where it starts. Obviously, the line play, offensive line, we lost several guys that have moved on and graduated as well. But we just plug and play new guys there. You've got Cohen Beach on the outside of the receiver position. You already said Griffin Mason in the backfield. Max Eldridge, a ninth grader, Coach Eldridge's son. He will get some action on offense and defensive side. Dalton Carnes at the receiver position, and also Zane Slider. So those are just some names that we'll surely call tonight and probably call a lot throughout the season.
All right. Saints are going to get the ball first as Farmington won the toss, and they will defer to the second half. Chandler Kemp, Griffin Mason, and the aforementioned Max Eldridge, the freshman, back deep to receive the kickoff for Farmington. They will kick it off with number 47, Jack Eldridge. So Saints and the Cardinals getting ready to kick it off. Farmington with 86 guys on the roster, so it'll be a challenge tonight from the depth standpoint for the Saints, but we'll get ready to go as Shiloh will get the ball first. Eldridge approaches the tee, and the 2024 season is underway. It's a high kick short, going to be taken at the 12, up the field, the 15, the 20. He's got a hole, 25, 30. Oh, dripped off his feet there, nearly busted that one for a touchdown right there. But a good return by Griffin Mason up to the 30, so good field position for Shiloh at the 30-yard line as they'll take over 1st and 10. At quarterback, as we mentioned, is the sophomore Cole Creighton. Played last year as a freshman, was hurt in the Little Rock Christian game, came back against Alma, and then finished in the playoffs for the Saints. So even though he's a sophomore, has had varsity snaps under his belt. So he'll have Chandler Kemp out to the left with kind of a power formation for the Saints on the right on the first play of the 24 season. He's going to hand it to Griffin Mason. He's going to throw it, got a man wide open down the middle of the field. It's caught at the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10. One play, one touchdown Saints. As Shiloh bust a long one on the opening play of the game as they hit number 3, Zane Slider, for the 72-yard touchdown. And Cliff, what a start to the season.
What a start. You could see that play just being set up. If we see the replay here, I mean, if you're Farmington, you've got to know where number 18, Griffin Mason, is at all times. It's like Bo was last year, in the last several years during his high school career here at Shiloh, and you've got to know if you're the defense competing against Shiloh all season long, you have to know where number 18 is. And they keyed in on Griffin Mason, left the Slider wide open down the field. Griffin made a great pass, and Slider just ran it in for the score.
Saints in the swinging gate. They see the numbers they like. Creighton's going to throw, got a man in the back. It's caught for the 2-point conversion. It's 8-0. So A little surprised Farmington got caught asleep on the swinging gate, something the Saints have run for years, but they don't defend it well. And Shiloh, 11:44 into the game, has an 8-0 lead. And, Cliff, I think it's so ironic. The last time Farmington played here, the Cardinals scored a 70-yard touchdown on the opening play of the game. So this time the Saints get it and return the favor. And so Farmington, who elected to kick off and give the Saints the football first, wound up not enjoying that experience as Shiloh takes an 8-0 lead 16 seconds into the game.
Yeah, not the start that you wanted if you're Farmington on the defensive side of the ball. Just a defensive breakdown. You've got to, I'd say the same thing if that happened to Shiloh. You just cannot let a receiver run by you and be left open in deep center field there with no safety help. But it worked out for Shiloh, and now we'll see the 2024 Saint defense on the field. And you'll see a few new wrinkles on the defensive side of the field. They're not really going to play on the line of scrimmage in a traditional type of setup. They will be several yards off the ball, and they will come crashing into the line when the ball's snapped. And they just feel like they can have success and get in the backfield by doing that. So we'll see how that works out for the Saint defense here shortly.
So Shiloh will kick it off, leading 8-0. Pullen's kick is going to be angled toward the left sideline. It's going to be taken at the 8. Fumbled there, picked up at the 10 to the 15, makes one man miss, cuts back this way, makes another man miss to the 20, to the 25, and then is going to be taken down at the 26. That's Dawson Keaton, the junior, on the return for Farmington. There is a flag down at the 26-yard line. As much as Keaton was kind of cutting back and forth, maybe a block in the back. We'll see what the call is on this one. So the Cardinals may start deep in their own territory on first down. Still waiting on the flag here from the officials to mark it off. Looks like he's going to mark it off against So offsetting personal fouls is the call. He didn't give us a number, so we're not sure with that. So the ball will stay at the 27-yard line as Coach Tucker Barnard, in his second year, as Cliff talked about, came over from Stillwater, Oklahoma, and came over late last year in the summer, didn't really have a chance to install some things as much as he wanted. So in the offseason, is able to install his defense, and you'll see it's a very different look with Hudson Ball, the transfer from Jenks, Oklahoma, right over the nose tackle. Quick pass out in the flat is caught at the 25 and is going to be breaks another tackle, then finally pushed out of bounds at the 32 by Cohen Beach. So Farmington with a good play there. They get that one to Luke Elsick, the senior. He is their go-to player in this offense, along with Lester, the quarterback. So second down for Farmington at their just outside the 30-yard line. Snap. Lester's going to keep it. He's in deep trouble in the backfield, and down he goes as he's going to be officially sacked at his own 26-yard line. Looked like Sid Scott got there first.
Well, Max Eldridge out there coming from the safety position, making the tackle on a former teammate there from Farmington.
So Farmington backed up now, third down and 11 from their own 26-yard line. 10:42 to go, first quarter. Saints scored on the opening play from scrimmage, got the two-point conversion, and have an 8-0 lead early in this game. Farmington's going to hand, Lester's going to keep, makes the man miss. He's got some room to the 35, and he's going to be taken down there short of the first down marker. He'll need about 2, maybe 3, so fourth down. So Coach Tice, welcome back to football. You get a 4th down and 2 decision early in the game.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to punt just early in the game here. It's really risky at your own 35 against this Saint defense to try to do something tricky here. But the Saints need to be aware.
Shatton in the punt for the Farmington Cardinals. One man back deep for Shiloh. Well, obviously Shiloh going to be careful to make sure the fake. There's the kick. Very high. Pretty good kick. Angled away from Salter at the 30. It's going to bounce this way. Takes a good Shiloh roll and out of bounds at the 35. So Salter, the speedster, back deep for coverage. They kind of kick away from him as the kick goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So about a 38-yard punt for Farmington. The officials are huddled up at the 35. I don't see a flag down in unless he's standing on it. Okay, he was standing on it. That's why we couldn't see it.
Yeah, depending on what this call is, it may be a first down for Farmington if it's on Shiloh. Wow.
Wow, face mask
That's
on the Saints.
15-yarder, and he called number 31. And we have not talked about Hudson Ball, but Hudson Ball is number 31, and he is another new face, an old new face. Hudson was here in youth league up through junior high and transferred over to Jinx, Oklahoma, and was there for a couple of years, but has moved back for his senior season. So the flag is on Hudson. And, boy, what a break for Farmington as they will move the ball up to midfield and get a new set of downs.
So at midfield, 1st and 10 for Farmington as they get a break as the Saints with a costly penalty to start this game. Again, you see that unusual front for the Saints, also designed for pressure. There's going to be a handoff for Elsick. He's hit at the line and is going to fall forward for maybe 1 to the 49-yard line of Shiloh. So 2nd down and 9 for the Cardinals there. So, Cliff, this defense, if you're watching at home, obviously very unique, but it's all about pressure. You have 6 guys in the box at all time. You never know where the pressure's coming from, really meant for confusion. So it's a very unique look, tough for an offensive lineman. You don't know which guy's coming at you.
Absolutely, and Coach Barner was very successful running this style of defense there at Stillwater.
At the 49, 2nd and 9, power formation, and there is a flag, and I think the Cardinals are going to get a delay of game right here.
So we expect we'll probably see several penalties here tonight. It is the first game. Both these teams had scrimmages last week. But it is the first game of live action. And
please reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, so they'll pick up the flag. Play clock was not set properly.
So it'll stay 2nd and 9 for the Cardinals at the Shiloh 49. They'll go with an I with kind of 2 power backs to the right side. They're going to hand it off coming this way. In trouble in the backfield, spins away and gets down to the 47. So he's able to pick up, well, they'll call him down at the 48, so maybe a yard, and 3rd and 8 for Farmington. Saints hit him in the backfield, just couldn't get him on the ground, and a 3rd down. So you see Elsick, who's their really main running back, number 3, kind of shaking his head there, a little frustrated. The Cardinal offense hasn't gotten going at all, really. Saints helped him out with a penalty to keep a drive alive. So 3rd down and 8 at the Shiloh 48-yard line. Farmington will go 4 wide receivers here. Elsick is in the slot to the left. He's the guy they want to try to get the football to. Lester back to pass, gets pressure, going to step up, throws it deep down the sideline, got a man wide open, and it's dropped at the 11-yard line, and thank goodness he dropped it because there was not a Shiloh Saint within 15 yards of Elsick. So,
yeah, just busted coverage there, and quarterback Lester was real close. The officials were on it, but real close to that line of scrimmage when he released the ball. But I do think he was behind the line, and, yeah, just a complete drop there by the receiver, and that would have been a sure touchdown for the Cardinals. Big break for Shiloh.
So Saints don't give themselves a break with a penalty, but get one with a drop pass down the line. There's a snap, and it's going to be the punt away by Shadden. It's high in the air. Salter calls for a fair catch. It hits a Farmington player on the back. They'll let it roll, but it's going to go back up to where the ball hit him. And it'll be placed, look like, I think I see the bean bag at the 10, so I think the Shiloh will take over from at the 10-yard line with a 1st and 10. 8:05 to go in the first quarter. Saints' 2nd offensive possession after scoring on the very first play of the game. So, Cliff, try to get some early momentum. Let's see if we can have a 90-yard drive here.
Well, through the years, we've seen Shiloh do that and do it very quickly. I mean, their first possession tonight, 11 seconds, 70-yard touchdown. Let's see what they draw up here on their 2nd drive.
Creighton with a snap. He's going to look to his left, fire over the middle. He's got Griffin Mason at the 15 to the 20. Griffin's going to slide down at the 23, 24-yard line, but that is enough to move the change as a gain of 14 as Griffin Mason with a catch. So Cole Creighton with the reception there. So 1st and 10 at the 24. Saints going to hand it to Griffin up the middle. Hits at the 26. Is going to be taken down there. Good tackle by the Cardinal defensive line after a 2-yard gain. So Griffin Mason will kind of take over that role from Bo Williams we saw last year as the back who carries it the most for Shiloh, but Creighton, the sophomore, can really throw it. So you may see a little more throwing this year out of the Saints. Speaking of that, Creighton back to pass. Looks, doesn't have anything, going to tuck it in run, trying to get outside. Jukes one man is going to be taken down at the 31-yard line, so not much there. But Creighton's able to get a little bit, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 4, almost 5 for Shiloh at the 30 from the left hash. Creighton will have Griffin Mason to his right. Pullen and Kemp, and a slot to the left. There's a snap, going to hand it to Griffin up the middle, and he's hit at the line trying to fall forward and doesn't get much. He gets out to the 32, and that's going to be about 2.5 yards short of a first down. So decision time for Shiloh, deep in their own territory. Do they decide to punt or decide to be aggressive and go for it?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me here if Coach Barnard and Coach Widger decide to go for it early and just kind of roll the dice here, pick out a play that we can get 5 yards on.
Pulling in the backfield, Creighton back to pass, quick outs, got it by Griffin Mason, and he's out of bounds at the 37-yard line, but that's enough for a Shiloh first down. So the Saints with a quick out are able to move the chains and convert deep in their own territory. So Mason had a couple catches on this drive, and the Saints with a first down. About halfway through the first quarter here, Shiloh lined up quickly as they always do. Creighton talking to his back to the right. Going to fire out to the flat. It's caught by Chandler Kemp. He's out of bounds at the 44-yard line. A gain of 6 for Kemp as he gets his first reception of the season. As the Saints with a good first down pickup of 6 will bring up 2nd and 4. Trips to the right as Creighton has one receiver this way. Now shift Griffin Mason to his left. There's a snap. Back to pass Creighton. Got Mason on the down left side, and it's going to be a little bit overthrown at the 26-yard line. Cardinals had pretty good coverage on him as he tried a little wheel route out of the backfield, but Farmington's able to shut it down. So 3rd down and 5 coming up from the 44. So Shiloh was on 3rd down last time, ran the football to kind of set up a more manageable 4th down. So we'll see if they do the same thing here at their own 44-yard line. Farmington really tight as they have 8 men in the box on this play. Really no player within more than 4 yards from the football. There's a snap. Creighton's going to run it up the middle, and he really gets hit at the line and nothing doing as the Farmington Cardinals eat him up there. So it's going to bring up 4th down for the Saints and about 4. No sign of the punting team, so it looks like Shiloh will go for it. Griffin Mason would be the punter if the Saints to do that, but they're no looking that. Trips to the right on 4th down and a long 4 from the 44-yard line. Saints kind of get the play out and see if the Cardinals will jump. They don't. Kind of looking to the sidelines. Coach Tucker Barnard is walking toward the official, and he's going to take a timeout with 5:32 to go in the first quarter. We'll see if the Saints decide to go to punt here or if they want to go for it on 4th down with the timeout. So 5:32 to go in the first quarter. We'd like to give you our 2024 sponsors of Shiloh Christian Football. Our lead video sponsors this year are Geo Services, Roush Coleman Homes, and McClarty Daniel. Champion video sponsors this year, Chick-fil-A of Springdale, Mr. Sparky. Telecom, Mathis Home. Pavecon, Elite Visitor Press Box sponsor, Smith & Davis Orthodontics. Arvest Scoreboard is sponsored by Arvest this year. Elite Championship sponsors, Reliable Poultry, Roush Coleman Homes, Quality Millwork, Advanced Primary Care, and our championship sponsors, Fast Lane Entertainment, Osback Fish Habitat, Wright's Barbecue, C.R. Crawford Construction, Harps Food Stores, Osage Air, Tyking DDS, Midland Industrial Services LLC, Backus Concrete, Stubbs Center for Cosmetic Surgery, and our Play Clock Institute, sponsored by Arkansas Children's Hospital Northwest. So 4th down for the Saints. Cole Creighton is back out. No signs of punting. The Saints have gone for it already on 4th down once, so Cliff aggressive out of the gate.
Well, he may I mean, you've got 6 receivers out, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. Cole's pretty far back. I think they're just going to try to do a quick kick here. No bound back for Farmington, so they would get a good roll here.
Well, they're going to throw it. He's got not Griffin Mason, Hudson Ball at the 35-yard line. Coach Tice is pointing out something on the sidelines. I wonder if he thought it was an illegal formation, but the Saints with the second trick play of the game as Hudson Ball made the catch. Hudson last week had a 2-point conversion in this little scrimmage benefit game against Springdale to win that game for the Saints in the final minute. So Hudson involved in another big play, and we had a whistle, and Tommy Tice wants a timeout to talk to the official. So I think he felt like the ball was maybe covered up. I'm assuming that's the argument he's going to make here. But Cliff,
well, and just like I said, you know, he's probably just going to pooch kick it, and then right when I say that, you see Ball just find a seam right there in the middle, and Creighton did a great job of feeding him, and Hudson made the catch there. So This call's not going to be overturned. I mean, we don't have replay here, and Coach Tice can just kind of bring it to the official's attention and just say, hey, next time you got to watch for this, whatever he sees over there. But it looks like it's going to be Shiloh's ball, first down inside the 35.
You see Coach Tice kind of arguing the call there. I didn't see if the two guys on the wide outside went down the field. If not, if they didn't, they stayed there, then you would have had a legal formation. But either way, the official said it's legal, and that's all it's going to stand at the 33, and it's a first down for the Saints. So already leading 8-0. Farmington's had a drive where they've had to punt. Saints scored on the opening play of the game, got the 2-point conversion to lead it 8-0. They'll go trips to the right here out of a stack formation for Creighton. Now they'll shift into a full spread look as Farmington will adjust quickly. Creighton back to pass. Got time, wants to throw it deep down the left sideline. 1-on-1 for Yolanda, and he dives, and he can't quite come up with it at the goal line. So intended for A.J. Yolanda down the left sideline. Creighton with a pretty good pass, and just couldn't quite get there. So 2nd and 10, but a good shot there. Saints with a kind of another different look. Just couldn't convert that one. Saints will go with 3 receivers to the top. They'll shift the back Mason all the way out to the left. Creighton's going to take the snap. He's going to run to his left. Creighton's at the 30, so the 28 is going to be pushed out of bounds there. There's 2 flags down at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, it's holding right in the middle there as Cole was running and about to make his cut to the left, and one of the Shiloh offensive linemen just held the defender. So that'll back it up 10 yards from that spot. Cole, not afraid to run the ball, but he hasn't really had any lanes to run through so far tonight. And we did talk early on, our offensive line replacing some guys who were starters last year. Jonas Nance, probably the biggest name at the U of A now.
Holding, offense number 51. 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Yeah, Cliff, you talk about that. You have a sophomore center and Mickey McIntyre out there, and, of course, Jonas Nance on the Hogs right now. So he was a guy who went through the entire season last year without giving up a sack, which is just incredible for a left tackle, particularly as much plays as Shiloh runs. Really impressive. As Kemp is going to circle behind the back. I thought I heard a whistle, but maybe not. They're going to run it up the middle to the 40 and then push back as a couple Cardinal players jump on top of the pile there. Short pickup of 3. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Saints. Shiloh needs to pick up 17 on this play just to get a first down. But at the 40, Cliff, you don't have to get it all back here. Just get 8 or 9 and make the 4th down more manageable because you're likely not going to punt from the 40.
Right. Farmington doing a great job there. Interior defensive line. Linebackers coming up, plugging the holes. No room to run up the middle so far tonight for these Saints.
So Creighton going to take the snap. He's going to run up the middle, hit hard at the 35-yard line. Farmington kind of went into a cover 5 look right there, just backed everybody far off the line. Creighton just saw it, said, I'll take what I can get. And again, trying to make 4th down a little bit more manageable. Picked up 5, but still 4th and 12 for the Saints with 4:07 to go. And Cliff, I think that's one thing we didn't get to see out of Cole last year. He had the collarbone injury that was broken against Little Rock Christian, 3rd series of the first game. You didn't see him back until late in the season, which at that point you have to be a little bit careful. So that'll be a new dynamic for the Saints this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's definitely capable of running, just need a lane to run through.
Spread formation for Creighton on 4th and 12. Back to pass. Looks left. Doesn't have anything. Pocket breaks down. He fires it incomplete at the 26-yard line. So the Cardinal defense gets a stop, and they will take over on downs intended for Griffin Mason there. Even if Griffin catches that, he was still well short of the first down as the Cardinals got a little bit of pressure there and kind of forced Cole to do it. Good job by the defense of Farmington there as they're able to get Shiloh off the field. That holding penalty, though, Cliff, huge on that drive. Really changed the momentum.
Yeah, it really did. Really stopped the drive that Shiloh had marching down the field there. And now the defense is back out again for their 2nd drive. 2nd defensive side of the ball, I should say, and Farmington on their 2nd drive of the night.
Lester's going to hand it off going to his left. He's trying to pick his way through. He's going to hit at the line of scrimmage, fall forward for a gain of 2. So far, the Saint defense have really done a pretty good job. Farmington just hasn't had much of anything on offense other than the one play where they dropped an open touchdown. But other than that, Shiloh's really bottled up Farmington here in the first quarter. Almost through the first quarter, 3:13.
But you can see right here on the cell, look how far the defensive line and linebackers, everybody is at the line of scrimmage there. Nobody is back as a safety help. Now you'll see the safeties back up as the play develops. There you go. Pass out to the left side here.
Yeah, Lannon blows up the lead blocker, and they're going to get it out to about the 42-yard line as the pass was caught there by number 10, Russell Hodge. He's a senior. He's a player that they like to get the ball to as much as they can, so the Cardinals' sort of answer to that line defense or wall defense is just to throw a quick out and see what they can get to go through. But third down and about 3 for Farmington. 2:52 to go in the first quarter. Saints 8 and Farmington 0. A little bit of a power look again here for the Cardinals as Lester looks to the sideline to get his play. Play clock's at 7, so he's going to have to hurry a little bit as he tries to change the look. They'll shift the running back, Elsick, to his left. 2-1 on the play clock. They don't get it off, but there's no flag. He's going to throw it deep down the left sidelines. One-on-one coverage. Salter tips it and knocks it away as it was intended for number 12, Aiken Johnson, the junior. So incomplete. 4th down and 3 coming up. And little cliff for the Cardinals got a little bit of a break. The play clock was at 0, and they didn't get the flag, but Shiloh gets off the field.
Yeah, I felt like the play clock had hit 0 for about a half second, but they let the play continue there. And Xander Salter with the breakup and probably forcing the punt here. Now, it wouldn't surprise me being down 8-0 and Farmington wanting to keep the ball out of Shiloh's hands if they try something funny here. So, again, you've got to be aware at all times.
Salter's back deep. Farmington will kick it away. It's a high, pretty angled kick. Salter's got a little bit of return here if he catches it cleanly. He slips at the 24 and is going to be taken down back inside the 20. Good coverage by Farmington. The kicker's really doing a pretty good job of getting some height there. So Shad is giving his return team an opportunity to get down the field, which they did. So they'll give him forward progress. Let's see. Well, actually, they didn't give him forward progress at all. So they're going to say he's down to 21. So Saints will take over from the left hash there. Third drive for the Saints. A touchdown on the opening drive. They turned it over on downs in Farmington territory on the second. So we'll see if the offense can have what would be a 79-yard drive here to start this one. Low snap. They're going to hand it off coming this way to Griffin Mason. He's going to be taken off his feet at the 24-yard line. A little bit of a low snap there kind of derailed that play a little bit, but Saints still able to get positive yards on first down 3, so 2nd and 7. Creighton will have Mason in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left, tight end right. They'll send man in motion to the right. This time going to keep it as the quarterback Creighton, nothing doing. Well, that was an interesting play in 2 fronts. There's a flag right in the middle of the pile at the 29, and then a Saint drove a Farmington player 15 yards down the field and planted him at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that would be number 62, Andrew Dawson. He's a senior, and he is playing big time here, and he is finishing. That's what you call finish the drill. He finished the drill 20 yards.
Defense, number 57. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
So the 5-yard incidental face mask. If you normally watch college football on a Saturday, you don't see the difference between a 5 and a 15-yard penalty with a face mask, but you do get it here in the high school game. So 5-yard incidental face mask will move it up to the 30, but the Saints get the down, which is great because 2nd and 1, so you can be real aggressive here if you want to. They're going to hand it off. Griffin Mason up the middle, 40 to the midfield, 40, the 30. And one man tried to track Griffin down from behind at the 10, the 5. He will not catch him. Touchdown Shiloh as Griffin Mason takes it all the way to the house for the long touchdown run. 69 yards for the Shiloh touchdown. So Griffin breaks it. So, Cliff, we were kind of thinking, boy, 2nd and 1. Maybe the Saints are aggressive here. They just went the old counter up the middle and took it to the house.
Yeah, previous to that run, Billy, 8 rushes for the Saints here in the first quarter, 8 rushes for only 18 yards, and then Griffin Mason found the hole, big hole created by the offensive line up the middle, and Griffin just outruns the secondary for the 70-yard touchdown run.
There's a whistle. Shiloh may have false started on the left side as they sent Beach in motion kind of back behind the play, so we'll go down to the field and see what the officials got here.
Offsides, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay the try.
Just some silly penalties here early on. You know, it's to be expected, first game of the season, but lining up off sides does not sit well with coaches. Face masks do not sit well with coaches. Those are things you can prevent, but that'll force Shiloh to have a kick attempt here for the extra point.
So Aiden Pullen will do what is now a 25-yard extra point. Bad snap. Pullen's going to pick it up and try to run, and he's taken down immediately. So the 2-point conversion fails for the Saints, and it's 14-0. So a little bit of a high snap there, but on the replay you can see Griffin Mason, who just on the counter play made one man miss, and he was gone into the open field for the long touchdown run. So 2 big plays for the Saints have gotten 2 touchdowns on the board with 1:44 to go in the first quarter. It's now 14-0 with the failed 2-point try on the second time around for the Saints after getting the first one. So see our student section there wearing all white for a whiteout for tonight's game. So Cliff, you want to wear the white because it's been hot outside. For those of you who maybe are out of state or something, up until about 30 minutes before kickoff, it poured for about an hour and a half. So it is super muggy outside and hot. The cold front's supposed to be coming through.
I was going to say, guess what?
It's not
Football
here.
weather is coming. It's just not going to be here during this game.
Yeah, I just
coming
opened
this
the
weekend.
I just opened the window to my left, and I was like, cold front has not come through. Back to the air conditioning. So 14-zip Saints is there's the kick. Let's hope it'll stay in bounds, but it will not. It'll go out of bounds. So Farmington's going to get great field position as Shiloh kicks it out of bounds on the kickoff. So 1:44 to go, Cliff.
Well, typical first 2 drives, 2 out of 3 drives, I'd say, for the Saint offense, but typical first 2 scoring drives for the Saints. We've seen it for years and years. Opening drive, 11 seconds. That drive that Shiloh just scored on there, 55 seconds. So
Free
2
kick out of
drives,
bounds.
and we
Kicking
are
team,
at
ball be placed at the 35. First down.
2 drives by the Saint offense, and they've scored on in just a little over a minute. So this offense, you know, again, putting new players in year and year out, and defense back on the field again, all lined up about 4 yards off the ball here.
Farmington's just going to run right at it on first down, and they'll get 4 out to the 39-yard line as they hand that one off up the middle to Dustin Heffler, the 5'11", 165-pound senior for the Cardinals. So if you look across the sideline to the Cardinal bench, they have got 86 players over there. Cliff, almost like a college team, multiple kids with double numbers. And you've seen so far in this game, they've had about 6 different guys touch the football. So a lot of depth on the Farmington side and a lot of juniors too when you really look down the roster. They're going to play action here. Lester has some pressure coming from Dawson's going to roll to his right and fires caught at the 45 to midfield, and then down to the Shiloh 44-yard line, and taken out of bounds there is Aiken Johnson. They hit him earlier with a pass. They get him there, and he'll get a first down. So, Cliff, one thing you really have to be careful with this Farmington is Lester. You got to keep him contained. When he starts rolling and moving, he's trouble.
Absolutely. You know, he can run the ball. He's very effective as a runner for sure. And you saw right there, the defense just collapsed off of the receivers, and defense came in to come after Lester and try to make the sack there. But that leaves an open receiver, and Lester's very capable of throwing the ball on the run, as we just saw.
At the 44, empty backfield this time. Lester's back to pass. He's got a man coming to hit him as he throws it down the middle of the field. It's going to be tipped in, nearly intercepted at the 12-yard line. Great job by the Saint defensive line as somebody drilled Lester just as he threw the football. And he basically threw a wounded duck down the middle of the field. Luckily for him, Shiloh was unable to pick it off. The Salter got there, just couldn't quite grab it and pull it in. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 with only 37 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Third offensive drive for Farmington so far. They have not mustered much at all on the offensive end. Lester with 2 backs on either side of him on second down. He's going to drop back to pass. Screen coming, fires, and it's going to be taken down at the 45. Outstanding play.
And Carter Henley from the linebacker position making the tackle right as the catch was made. Carter doing a great job, one of the senior leaders, senior captain here for this Saint football team.
And Cliff, I was about to say, if you want to make your dad the defensive coordinator happy, pull that play off because he was in on an island and Carter got him on the ground. Great tackle there. 8 seconds to go. Farmington's going to let the clock run out, and the first quarter of the 2024 season will be completed as Shiloh has a 14-0 lead over the Farmington Cardinals as they'll flip. So Cliff, you go back to the first quarter, boy, just 2 big plays for the Saints have really taken control of this game in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, haven't had to because they've taken what Farmington has given them, but they haven't had to march down the field. You know, if you're a coach and a fan, a football fan, you like to see your team just dominate a team down the field. Now, you want to take scores when you can get them, and that's what Shiloh has done on the big opening play, 70-yard touchdown throw, and then on the wide open middle of the field run by Griffin Mason for 70 yards. But you'd like to see a sustained drive here and punch the ball in the end zone and just, you know, put your will on the other team. And so Farmington has been not big play, big strike type of ability. Obviously, they haven't put in the end zone yet, but they've been a little more methodical and pass and run and eating yards here or there. But I think the game will shake out, and I think Shiloh will get into an offensive groove there and not have to rely on the big plays as often.
Saints leading 14-0. And Cliff, we were talking about the weather. I noticed during the break several other games around the area delayed. So Lester's going to fire a pass on the left sidelines. It's caught but out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Pretty good coverage there by the Saints. A.J. Ulanen got there. Alexander Salter to go through. So third down becomes 4th and long for the Cardinals as the punt team comes out. Shadden will out for his 4th punt of the day so far. See if he can pin him back deep. Saints have Salter back at the 10.
Making a little change out there. Salter was in on the defensive play on that previous play, and it looks like he's trying to walk off a little
almost looks like a cramp. Yeah,
issue there.
Yeah, grab some water, maybe a cramp. That's what we kind of mentioned. It is very humid after the rain, and hot. Farmington patient on the punt. They will get it away by Shadden. There's the kick. It's going to be Carnes is going to come up and get it at the 15. Makes a man miss to the 20, 25, and up to the 27. So Dalton with a really good punt return there. Instead of being pinned inside the 20, Saints wind up with it close to the 30-yard line. So the first down and 10 for the Saints, rather, as they'll be backed up at their own end. And so, Cliff, I tell you, it's interesting to watch their punter, Shadden. The drop between where he drops the football and kicks it is probably 4 to 5 feet. I don't know if I've seen one that just difference in a punt. So maybe he'll shank one at some point. We'll take one of those. 4 receivers for Shiloh with a 1st and 10 just underway in the second quarter. Pole's going to load his left. He's going to fire it out to Chandler Kemp, who's going to break a tackle at the 40, and he's up to the 41-yard line. So Saints kind of stretched that out in the play, I think.
And it's a backwards pass. Yeah. You saw Cole running and turn and kind of throw backwards. The official called it right away, pointed. And so luckily Kemp called it and was able to get a good gain out of it.
So Chandler will get credited with his first rushing carry there as he gets 11 yards on a 1st down. Saints try to get lined up properly here. Back to pass Creighton, going to throw it deep down the left sideline. One-on-one coverage there, and it's caught at the 20-yard line. What an outstanding catch by Chandler Kemp as the Cardinal defender was all over him, pinned him to the sidelines, and Kemp just went up and got the football down to the 20-yard line. So a gain of 40 for the Saints on that one and a big tip. So back-to-back plays, 51 yards of offense from Chandler Kemp. Cole Creighton quickly rolls to his right. Looking, has time, going to tuck it and run to the 15, spins, and is going to be thrown down at the 13-yard line. So pick up a 7 on that rush for Cole. Brings up 2nd down as we hit the exactly 1 minute mark to go in the first quarter. Farmington kind of looking a little tired on defense. Saints getting lined up in a hurry as Creighton, bad snap, but he's going to hand it off to coming right to the 10 to the 5. He will score. Griffin Mason gets open. The Saints are able to score on the 13-yard touchdown run from Griffin Mason. So again, the counter play works well for Shiloh, and it's 20-0 Saints, 10:45 to go in the first half.
Yeah, great blocking, great seal block there on the right side that allowed Griffin to get it and just get through the line and then use the burst of energy and his quickness that he has and just sprint into the end zone for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night.
Saints, Creighton back. He's going to throw, looking, fires in the back. It's almost identical to
Too
the first
easy.
play.
Too
yeah,
easy.
just too easy. And the Saints have another swinging 8 2-point conversion, and it's 22-0. So whatever Farmington's doing on defense, the Saints like it. As you see the replay here, really good job by Creighton. He one-handed that snap and scores it for the touchdown for Griffin Mason. So 22-0 Shiloh, 10:45 to go in the first quarter. We'll remind you very quickly some of our elite video sponsors this year: Geo Services, Roush Coleman Homes, McClarty Daniel, Champion Video sponsors Chick-fil-A of Springdale, Mr. Sparky, Telecom, Mathis Health, Pavecom, our elite visitor press box sponsor, Smith & Davis Orthodontics, Arvest School Board, sponsored by Arvest this year, elite championship sponsors of Reliable Poultry, Roush Coleman Homes, Quality Millwork, and Advanced Primary Care. So couldn't do without our sponsors who take care of us every week and put Shiloh Christian football on the air. Saints will be on the road next week hitting the Little Rock Christians. So there's the kick. Pulling great. His best kick of the year so far to the 4. Cardinals right up the field to the 15, to the 20, 25. Got a hole to the 30. There's a flag. Going to be knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line as Elsick ran into the wall, also known as Sid Scott on the sideline over here. Well, there'll be a flag as number 41 for Farmington gets 1, 2, 3, 4 officials to throw a flag at him as he shoves the Saint to the ground. So, and he continues to talk as he walks to the sideline. That'll probably not help his cause when he meets to the. I'll give him this, Cliff. He very calmly went very far away from all his coaching staff as he went back to the sideline.
Yeah, players kind of know that. They know when they have done something they shouldn't do. They try to avoid coaches at that point and just, where are my buddies on the sidelines? Okay, there he is. Let me go over to him.
So you have a flag at the 27. They're going to probably get a holding call or a block in the back there. That'll mark off 10 yards, should put it inside the 20, about the 17. And then you should get half a distance off of that with a personal foul. So Farmington should start this, if my math is right, inside their 10.
Yeah, and when the player, the kick returner was knocked into the sideline of Shiloh, I mean, Sid Scott just standing there, and he's just a wall. I mean, Sid didn't come after the guy away. He just stood there, and the guy just.
Both by the kicking team. The back. After the play, were personal foul, number 41. Both those penalties will be for.
Well, that is costly. 2 penalties there, really backing Farmington up. They're already just, been a tough first quarter, just haven't been able to stop Shiloh's offense, and they're not doing anything offensively themselves. You're down 22-0, and you had decent field position off the kickoff return, but the penalty is just backing them up.
So as we mentioned, Farmington winds up starting at their own 8-yard line after the penalty, and Coach Tice is calling a timeout. He's talking to the official, but I think he wants to have a little chat with his guys to kind of get them calm a little bit. So Farmington in a little bit of a jam here, Cliff, and you kind of almost get that feeling that you're one good uppercut away from being in a world of trouble.
Yeah, but you got to remember, and if you're Farmington, this is kind of what you got to hold on to. One, you got to hold on to the team we have and the personnel and what we want to do in this game. But you can also bring up, and they may bring it up at halftime, hey guys, you were getting destroyed last year at home to these Saints. They had our number. Whatever adjustments they made, they came out in the second half and took it right to Shiloh, got right back in the game. Now, you don't want to dig a hole every time, but that just puts so much pressure on your team to stop a team and then go and score. But they may have to draw off of that experience that they had last year. Now, the coaching staff, several new coaches over there on Farmington, Coach Tice, they weren't a part of that. But the players and those coaches that were, they can remember what adjustments they made last year to come back and end up winning the game.
Yeah, Saints really controlled the game in the first half last year. You felt great going into the half, and then Farmington just kind of got the ball running and just controlled the clock and ate it up in the second half. There's a play action for Lester. Hit as he throws. He throws it down the middle of the field. He's got 2 receivers, and one of them jumps up and makes the catch at the 35-yard line. So it's going to be caught there by Roman Nye, the senior receiver. Almost looked like Farmington somebody ran the wrong route. They had 2 guys right beside each other.
Yeah, two receivers going the same spot. You had 4 defenders for Shiloh right there, and we let them make the catch. So big completion there, big first down for the Cardinals.
The Cardinals get all the way out of 25 yards from their own 8 to the 33. Two backs in the backfield. Lester looks. He's going to fire out in the flat. It's incomplete. A big hit by Yalanen on the back coming out of the backfield. Clean hit, though. It was in the middle of the play, so incomplete. Second down. They tried to hit Jaquel Brown, the junior receiver.
There's about 1,000 or 2,000 fans on wearing red across the field. Didn't feel like that hit was a clean hit. So that's what defensive backs and safeties are taught to do. You know, let the receivers know you're there, and that'll make them think about it next time they run a route.
Second down for Farmington at 10 from their own 34. 10:24 to go in the second quarter. St. offense has been rolling with the big plays and then have a good drive for the third score. Shiloh again going to kind of go with that stand-up defense. They blitz everybody. Lester's going to keep it. He breaks a tackle. Good job by Lester as he gets to the 40, and then he gets planted at the 41-yard line. So winds up getting about 7 out of really nothing there. Good job again. Lester, he's dangerous. He can certainly move. Very elusive quarterback. Got a little bit of experience last year out of necessity. Farmington lost their starting quarterback early in the year as well for the season, and Lester came in and did a great job. Got him to a conference championship sharing with Shiloh. At the 41, 3rd and 3. Cardinals got to have a first down here with 9:47 to go in the first quarter. See if the Saints can get a negative yardage play. Elsick's going to hand it off going right. He breaks a tackle and gets the first down across midfield into Saint territory to the 49-yard line. So Farmington on 3rd and 3, they convert with a big first down.
Yeah, Shiloh crash in the middle. Farmington saw that. They call a play to the right. Just not a whole lot of defensive guys out on the wing there. And they are able to pick up the first down, and a critical first down, and to keep the ball. I mean, they have not been able to stop Shiloh tonight so far in this first half, and they do not want to give the ball back to Shiloh, let their offense move.
9:37 to go in the quarter. Back to pass. Lester's going to throw the quick screen. It's caught at midfield to the 45. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line, really close to a late hit there. Don't see a flag at the late hit. There is a flag at the 49 in Farmington territory. In the area of holding, we'll see if that's what they call. Farmington's backing up, so that's a good sign.
Holding, offense number 54, 10 yards from the previous spot, replay first down.
So that'll back Farmington up from their own 49 to their own 41-yard line. So they'll have 1st and 20 with 9:13 left to go in the first quarter. So, Cliff, so far the Saint defense really has shut down the big play of Farmington, really held them down.
Yeah, they really have. I'd like to see a little more pressure in the backfield. Farmington's doing a good job of not keeping the ball in the backfield too long and letting Shiloh disrupt the quarterback or the running back. They're getting the ball out, which is helping them offensively, but I'd like to see Shiloh get a little more pressure there on quarterback Lester. 9
motion as Lester's going to roll this way. He's going to throw this way. It's going to be caught at the 46, breaks one tackle, breaks a second tackle, breaks a third tackle, a fourth tackle, a fifth tackle, and finally Pullen's going to get him on the ground at the 36-yard line. Fantastic play there by Farmington as they get number 6, Keaton, who made a big play earlier, just made St. defenders miss left and right there and gets to the 36. So first down for Farmington, who started this drive at their own 8, kind of really backed up in trouble, but they responded with really their best drive of the night to the Shiloh 36. Lester back to pass, gets some pressure, rolls, he's going to try to run, and he's going to be taken down and sacked at the 40-yard line. So a loss of 4.
Carter Henley there, senior linebacker, coming in and making the solo tackle. Lester been elusive at times tonight, and so you've really got to wrap him up. You can't do this against anybody really at the high school level on Friday nights. You just can't arm tackle. You can't sweep the legs and expect good runners to just go down very easily. You've got to wrap them up like Carter did right there.
Yeah, good tackle in the open field by Henley because Lester is not easy to get on the ground. At the 40-yard line, it's going to be second down, still beyond 10. Lester's going to run. He throws it. It's caught at the 30, breaks a tackle at the 25, cuts inside another broken tackle, 20, 15, 10, and down at the 6-yard line.
And Hayden Carter, defensive lineman, coming up and making the touchdown-saving tackle for Shiloh after the defensive backs, the secondary for Shiloh, not able to get the receiver down. And again, just taking some bad angles and over pursuing the receivers a little bit here.
Yeah, Aiken Johnson had some big plays on this drive for Farmington. He was on the reception there, just keeps making Saints miss. So now Farmington with a 1st and goal. They'll go into a power look right here with 3 backs, 2 tight ends. They're going to hand it right off to Elsick. He's hit at the line. He'll get back and he'll dive forward and maybe get a yard generously to the 7. So 2nd down and goal. And so, you know, Cliff, this is the type of football Tommy Tice would like to play. Just line you up in a box and pound on you for a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's known for that for many, many years. Hall of Fame coach here in the state of Arkansas, many, many wins, and very successful in his days at Harrison, coached at Huntsville, and that is his offensive setup for sure.
Hodge in the backfield. They'll send Elsick in motion to the right. Lester rolling this way. Going to throw back this way. Got a man open. It's caught at the goal line, and stepping into the end zone is Nye for the Farmington touchdown. So the Cardinals get on the board with 7:07 to go in the first half. And Cliff, we started this drive talking about Farmington was kind of on the ropes. A 92-yard drive for a big-time response for Farmington.
Yeah, it really was. Used up a lot of the clock here in the 2nd quarter, so great job by Farmington just finding some holes there in this Saints secondary. But again, I think, I think our secondary guys and our safeties are just over-pursuing a little bit. They stay in their lanes, keep the receivers in front of them, and then we have a chance to make a tackle,
So Farmington's going to go for 2, down 22-6. They'll send Elsick this way. Quarterback's going to roll, throw to Elsick, and it's knocked down at the last second by Max Eldridge. And boy, you know he enjoyed that against his former team. So the pass is knocked down. 22-6 is the score as a 2-point conversion fails. As you see the touchdown pass for Farmington as they get in the end zone with 7:07 to go in the quarter, 22-6. So Farmington did what they had to do when they really needed to do it with a long 92-yard touchdown drive, and the Cardinals will come out and will kick off to Shiloh. Farmington did kick off to the Saints to start the first half, so if their defense could come up with a stop here at the end of the first half, they would get the ball to start the second half and keep this game a little bit more manageable for what they would like to do. As the Saints will get a chance to return one here for their first time of the year. 22-6 our score, 7:07 to go in the 2nd quarter.
So again, Shiloh's 3 scoring drives here in the first half, 11 seconds, 51 seconds, and 59 seconds. So they've been quick strike offense, scoring quickly. We'll see what kind of drive they get on this next possession.
Short kick taken at the 15 to the 20. Griffin Mason, great coverage by Farmington. And there's a flag, and I think it's going to get a penalty marker on top of it. Saints may get called for a hold, as there was possibly a hold on the tackle as well. Illegal block in the back is what they call. So the Saints, much like Farmington, are going to have a long way to go on this drive as they're going to start inside their own 20 with a block in the back penalty. Shiloh again with this. Cliff mentioned the long
Big returns,
drive.
blocking the back, number 20, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the 6th penalty on Shiloh here in the first half. 5 penalties on Farmington. So as I mentioned earlier, you expect to see several penalties in an opening game like this as you try to just correct and teach and really get into a rhythm, but this is a little much for both of these teams early on here.
Yeah, kind of been a first game. It's hard when you have 2 teams who know each other well. You get probably a little bit of trash talking, you would imagine, on the field. There's a pass out to the flat. It's going to be caught at the 10 and then going to be taken down at the 15 is Slaughter, who had the long touchdown reception earlier. So small gain there for the Saints on first down to bring up 2nd down at the 16-yard line. They'll give them, 16-yard line, so gain of 4, 2nd down. Saints show Carnes in motion, a little fake. They'll just send him out to the flat. Creighton's going to fire out to Carnes in the flat. Let's see. Oh, nope. Farmington blows that one up. Slaughter couldn't get the block on the bubble screen. and dropped back at the 13-yard line. So Farmington with a big play, and the Cardinals with a lot of momentum. After the touchdown drive, now they have Shiloh backed up with a 3rd and 9 inside their own 15-yard line about halfway through the second quarter. So really like to get a first down here. Besides giving your defense a little bit of rest, you can win the field position battle back as well. Carnes in motion that way. Creighton's going to roll. Got time, fires, it's caught and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So Dalton Carnes is able to pull it in, and a big first down conversion for the Saints. Boy, Cliff, you didn't want to go 3 and out after a long drive for your defense.
Absolutely. Great job of Cole rolling to his left, out of the pocket, getting behind his blockers. Dalton Carnes running a good, nice out route. And just the throw on the money completes the pass and the catch for the first down.
Shiloh at the 25, 1st and 10. Creighton going to fire the bubble screen out to Carnes. And he breaks one tackle. He's going to be tripped up at the 28-yard line, maybe the 29. So 2nd down. Shiloh sees something they like with the bubble screen. They just haven't quite been able to execute it the way they want to on those first 2 opportunities. But they still get 4 on that play. Good 2nd down and 6. So you'll take the 4 yards on 1st down. Kind of keep the ball moving forward here. 2 receivers to the left. Creighton's going to play action. Going to fire over the middle, high and incomplete. It's pretty well covered by Farmington as the pass was over the middle and Farmington had that covered. So Shiloh's going to have 3rd down and 6 here from their own 29.
Shiloh getting away from the run game a little bit here this drive. Everything been passing.
Pass was intended for Ethan Brewer there. So 3rd down for the Saints. Trips to the left. Farmington will adjust. Cardinals don't have anybody more than 5 yards off the football, so if the Saints get anything deep, they'll fire it out in the flat. It's going to be called at the 30 to the 35. Oh, there's a flag. So it would have been right at the 1st down marker, but 2 flags go down. Slaughter is also down on the side. He may have gotten rolled up a little bit, but I'm afraid the Saints are going to get called for a block in the back, and it's going to be 3rd and really long here.
Yeah, Slaughter had a tough time getting off the field there. Holding his hip, it looks like. So he's kind of been battling injury a little bit in fall camp. Had a little bit of an ankle or a leg
Holding,
injury.
offense number 3, 10-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
And so he's trying to get back to 100%, where he can be effective on Friday nights for us.
Yeah, Slaughter's a receiver really toward the end of the year last year, really started playing well. Had a big game against Pine Bluff. It just seemed like he made a lot of key catches in that Pine Bluff game in the playoffs last year. They've taken Slaughter over to the sidelines, kind of looking at the left leg hip area, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Officials timeout.
We have an officials timeout with 5:13 left to go in the first quarter, so maybe not sure if it's an injury kind of water timeout. Sometimes you see those early in the season when you see a lot of hot weather and the heat. So, Cliff, let's talk a little bit about, you talked a little about the 6A West, you know, a little bit different conference. Well, as we open conference play after the first 3 games, Saints travel the next 2 weeks as they go to Lincoln Christian and Little Rock Christian, 2 teams we played last year. But boy, you get 6A West play. Hey, here's Greenwood the very first week, so you dive into the deep end of the pool real quick.
Yeah, you really do, and I don't mind that. They have a bye week before that game too, so it's a time to go hard for 3 weeks and then rest up a little bit and have an extra week of preparation. Kind of like Arkansas through the years, having a bye week before Alabama or a Georgia or a Tennessee, you know, just the cream of the crop in the SEC. Well, Greenwood is cream of the crop in the 6A West, and like I said, has been for many, many years. Defending state champs, you've got an extra week to prepare for them, and hopefully put a good product on the field and maybe upset those guys.
Yeah, Creighton trying to draw Farmington off sides on 3rd and 12 for Shiloh. 5:13 to go. Creighton's back to pass. He's going to roll that way. Has some time, steps up in the pocket, going to run. Can he get the first down? He's got a long way to go. And he won't really even get anywhere close as he's knocked out of bounds at the 31. So 4th and 4 from your own 31 with 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Saints went for it deep in their own end early. You would think with the lead they'd probably punt here, but you'll see.
A little gutsy here if you do it.
Well, Shiloh's going to at least line up, see if Farmington will jump off sides, if nothing else. Creighton with a hard, no, he's going to go back to pass, looks left, doesn't have anything. Pocket breaks down. Cole, there's a flag. Cole's knocked out of bounds hard at the 32-yard line, short of the first down as he needed to get to the 35. There's a flag in the backfield for holding, but Farmington's going to take over at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, just nothing happening downfield for the Saint offense. No receivers able to get open. Cole's not able to release it and find a gap in the secondary to pick up the 4 or 5 yards needed.
Holding, offense number 65. Penalties declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So the Cardinals are going to take over at the Saint 32-yard line as Shiloh turns it over on downs at their own end of the field. And a Farmington team who was down 22-0 a few minutes ago at their own 8-yard line suddenly finds themselves down 2 scores with the ball at the Saint 31, actually, is where they'll mark it. So a great opportunity for the Cardinal offense, who got the first touchdown for them of the season. We'll see if the Saint defense can rise up. And so Cliff, a little pressure on the guys in blue on D right here. Got to get a big stop.
Yeah, it really is.
It looked like a false start there. Farmington's going to fire it out in the flat. It's going to be caught. He breaks one tackle, but he does not break the second tackle as the Saints slam him to the ground. Brody Francis on the stop for Shiloh. So all that, a lot of running, a lot of passing, no gain. Cardinals may have gotten a break. Looked like the guard kind of pulled a little quickly there, but either way, no gain. 2nd and 10 at the 31-yard line as Farmington will run the play in from the sidelines as they'll bring in, as Lester goes to the sidelines to get the play, and then he'll come back in. So at the 31, 4:20 to go, clock running here in the first half. Saints up 22-6. Snap, Lester back to pass, flags go.
There was movement that time, so. As you said, it looked just like the previous play to me where the...
Prior to the snap, false start, White, number 70, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Number 70. Yeah, I do think there was movement on the play previously, and it was flagged that time.
So back at the 36 now is Farmington after the penalty. 2nd down and 15. They'll send Keaton to run Lester the play on that. 3:59 to go. Saints, boy, would love to get a stop and a score. Farmington gets the ball to start the second half, so if they could bleed the clock and score, they would be in a great opportunity to get what they want. Back to pass Lester. Pocket breaks down. He's in deep trouble at midfield. Now rolling, he turns and throws it up in the air, and it goes out of bounds. They will say he got out of the pocket, which is the correct call, as he got out to about the numbers and threw it away. So good job by Lester just getting rid of the football. But now it's 3rd down for the Cardinals and about 15. And so Cliff got to get a big stop here. Your defense so far on first 2 downs have done their job.
Yeah, I think you need 2 stops here. I mean, if you're Farmington, you're at the Shiloh 36. You're kind of chipping away back in, getting into this game a little bit. You got 2 downs here to pick up a first down. So what is it, 3rd and 15? So just like you said for Shiloh a few possessions ago, you don't have to pick up the full 15 on this play, but get 8, 10, 12, so you make that 4th down call much, much easier.
Saints with 6 guys at the line of scrimmage here. Back to pass Lester. They get pressure, and Lester throws over the middle. It's called at the 20. He breaks a tackle there and is going to be taken down after spinning a ray, but that's a first down for Farmington as 3rd and 15 is converted with a pickup of 16 to the Shiloh 20. So Saints came with a blitz and didn't quite get home there.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 44 defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And on top of it, you're going to get a personal foul for roughing the passer. So that's going to put the ball at the 10. And it's going to should give Farmington a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line with 3:32 to go in the quarter. And so the Cardinals get a double win right there, Cliff. They convert and get a penalty.
Yeah, I did not see the flag drop there, and I didn't see the roughing the passer. I was following the flight of the ball, which Lester made a great pass, great catch, just finding an open seam there in the secondary of the Saint defense, and all momentum is on the Farmington side here.
At the 10, 3:26 to go in a half, Farmington. They're going to hand it off. Nope, he's going to keep it. It's going to go down. So try to give it to Elsick coming that way, but the quarterback just pulled it, and Lester taken down at the 10. So no gain, 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line. Clock at 3:09 to go in the quarter. Farmington has 1 timeout remaining, which probably isn't going to matter for them with 3 minutes to go in a half. The Saints, however, though, have all 3 left. So if they can get the stop here, they're going to have plenty of time to get the football back and try to see if they can score in a quick 2-minute drill. Lester's got Elsick to his left. That's the most dangerous man in the backfield. Back to pass. He's going to fire out in the flat. It's intercepted, and this might be a pick 6. 10 to the 15 to the 20. It's a foot race up the left sideline to the 30. Hot, and the quarterback, a big hit. He stays on his feet to the 40. Still going to the 30, 20 to the 15, and finally taken down at the Farmington. Gets the Saints down at the 9-yard line, but a 91-yard interception return for Shiloh. And wow, what a huge swing and momentum on that play, as it looks like Salter got the pick. Lester just kind of threw that one up for grabs. Salter picked it off in the end zone. There was nobody in the Farmington receiver anywhere close to where the ball was thrown. So a 91-yard drive, and you talk about flipping the game on its heels. The Cardinals look like they're going to score, and Shiloh winds up with the ball at the 10-yard line of Farmington with 2:27 to go. So Salter comes up with the big play to go through. So Cliffy missed the interception earlier, but he didn't miss that one.
Absolutely. What a play, what a change of this second half here, right before the halftime. Low snap. Cole's just going to run it right up the middle. Fall on his blockers, his
Griffin.
big offensive line. Oh, was that Griffin?
Yeah, Griffin. It was a direct snap to
Okay,
Griffin.
my bad.
Yep.
I should just let you do the play call, and I stick to the stats here.
Hey,
but
that's okay.
We need to punch it in right here.
Same direct snap to Griffin Mason again off the right side. He's plugging his way. Is he in? Yes, sir. Touchdown Shiloh. Griffin Mason from 3 yards out is able to put it in the end zone. And, man, what a swing and momentum. Farmington with an interception. The Saints run back 90 yards. 2 plays later, Griffin Mason into the end zone for the touchdown, and it's 28-6 Shiloh. Saints are just going to keep going with this swinging gate formation as Farmington hasn't adjusted their 2-point play, so we'll just keep running it till they do something different. There's a little option pitch to the right, double pass. Oh, unfortunately, Griffin Mason ran right into a Cardinal player who was trying to come up to get it. So as we go through here, here's the play that set up the touchdown as Lester threw to the flat.
Well, he just wasn't in communication with his receiver. Receiver ran a totally different route, and you just see an easy pick there. And then Salter just runs right over the would-be tackler. And what a change of events here. Farmington driving down the field, not able to punch it in and get even closer. The Saints pick them off and then punch it in themselves. And what would have been potentially a 22-13, maybe a 22-14 game is now 28-6. And again, just a 25-second drive. So all 4 of Shiloh's drives under a minute. And we've seen it again for years and years. It's just amazing the quick strike ability that this Saint offense has year after year.
Saint coaches every week have what they call winning plays they show to the team of what helped win football games. I bet you there'll be an interception return on that one. Oh, that's even a great win for the Saints as Farmington slips and falls at their own 2-yard line on the kickoff with 2:01 left to go in the first half. Now, we talked about before the Saints had the big play. Shiloh has all 3 timeouts, so they can be very aggressive on defense right here. If you can get a stop, you'll have a short field and probably a minute and a half left to go in the half. So with the Saints' quick strike offense, the point opportunities have not gone away for Shiloh here in the first half if the defense can get a stop here.
Yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of time here for the Saint defense to disrupt and get the ball back, force a fumble, force a maybe a 3-and-out, force a punt, and try to get one more score here before the half.
There's a handoff right up the middle to the 5 to the 6. He's going to plow ahead to the 8-yard line, gain of 4. So 2nd and 6 with a minute 52 to go. We'll see how Farmington's probably one of those they're in a hurry, but they're not in a hurry. The Saints are going to call a timeout, I believe.
Timeout. Shiloh, that's their second charge timeout of the half.
So it is a timeout by the Saints. Although the officials said that was their second charge, but the board has them with 2.
Yeah, they just
took
it down to 1, so maybe they missed it.
Maybe there was one earlier we missed. So a minute 47. Either way, you can still get the football back with a minute left with a 40-second play clock if you stop it after this play. So Saints got an opportunity if they can get off the field to get one more shot. They put the ball in the end zone here with a 22-point lead. So, man, Cliff, you think about this game. Such a wild swing. Farmington backed up their 08. Boom, touchdown. They get a stop at the 32. Boom, interception for the Saints. Just two heavyweight fighters going at it.
I mean, you look at Farmington's first 3 drives, punt, 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 and then they got a sustained drive there with a touchdown, and then driving again, going towards a score, throw the interception. So they've kind of made some offensive adjustments and seen some things in the secondary of Shiloh that has been successful for them. Shiloh, they've had drive, turnover on downs, drive, or touchdown, and then 2 more scores, and then another turnover on downs. So they haven't had anything sustained like Farmington has, but Farmington's doesn't show anything for it on the scoreboard. So
out to the 12 is Elsik, going to bring up 3rd down. Saints will burn their final timeout of the half with a minute 47 left to go, and they'll see if they can get a stop on what will be 3rd down and maybe 2-3
here
for the Cardinals deep in their own end to go. So
Time
big
out.
play for the Saints
Shiloh, it's your last time out of the half.
to go through. But Cliff, you look at this first half. Wow, it's the old Shiloh Saints, man. We're scoring 4 drives all under 1 minute.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable the big plays that they have had, and I don't have an explanation for it. It just happens. It's just really weird. But I would like to see, and I'm sure the coaches would too, like to see a sustained drive here. Let's march down the field. Let's get Farmington's defense on their heels. Let's have some success running the ball. Let me see some good holes created by the offensive line. We've seen a few snaps be a little low. Let's get those up a little bit, be a little more, We've gone through almost 2 quarters of play here at the start of this season. We need to be getting better. Farmington, too. Both teams need to be showing some improvement each quarter as we go through this game here.
So Farmington, who was in the 5A West with the Saints, they are preseason picked to win the 5A West this year. So you expect them to have a good football team on this. So Elsik's in the backfield, 3rd and about 3 for the Cardinals. Hard snap count. Not surprised there. We'll see. Now Farmington's going to use a timeout. Yeah, the Cardinals just trying to draw the Saints offside. Probably a good use of a timeout.
Farmington, it's their final timeout of the half.
Well, we won't stop the clock anymore in this one other than a change of possession, a minute 42 to go, as both teams have burned all 3 timeouts here on the first week of the season.
Yeah, let me give you some updates on some scores. It's the opening night all around the state. A lot of games being played tonight. You got Fayetteville at Cabot, and it's delayed because of weather, but Fayetteville's up 14-3 in that game. Pulaski Academy 20-7 over Little Rock Robinson. Greenwood, again, who we will face in our opening conference game here in a few weeks, playing Bentonville West. Greenwood up in the second quarter 33-21. You got Tulsa Union beating Bentonville 21-14. And next week's opponent for the Saints, are we Little Rock Christian next week, right?
Yes, on the road.
So we are at Little Rock Christian next week. They're playing El Dorado. No score in that game yet.
So 3rd down for the Cardinals and 2. Saints trying to burn those timeouts. They're going to run the quarterback. Lester to the right side. He's hit. I don't think he got it, Cliff. I think he stopped in bounds, but he's short. So 4th down and 2. The Cardinals have to punt. A minute 30 to go. Looks like the Cardinals, if I'm doing my math, they should punt this about 55, 56 seconds. The end of the half. Dalton Carnes, who had the really good punt return last time, standing in his own 42-yard line. One of those situations where if you're Dalton, just fair catch this thing and stop the clock as fast as you can. The clock is stopped. I'm not quite sure. The officials are talking. I'm not quite sure why they stopped it.
Please place 108 on the clock. It should be running. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, our clock operator, I think they thought it went out of bounds, but you got to look for the official, stopping the clock. They did not do that. So clock is running 105. Play clock hasn't started.
Yeah, I was going to say
yet.
that we're mismatched here. Is the play clock's not running, so we're going to have to fix that. They'll have to stop that and get it going. So I think they'll sync it up with a minute 8 and play clock at 25, although the game clock's at 56. So we'll get it. Yeah, I can see Coach Tucker Barnard signaling up to the press box to say either a minute 8 or a minute 10. I can't quite tell his fingers from here.
They're working on it up here. So 108, and then they'll start the 25-second clock. And I expect Farmington to use the whole 25 seconds to get this game clock down, give Shiloh as little time as possible.
Yeah, normally you take a delay of game here, but if you're already kicking out of your own end zone, you can't really risk that. So Farmington's going to kind of have to let it go here. 10 on the play clock. Let's see what they wheel it down. So far, they've done a good job. Play clock's at 3, 2. They snap it with 2. Good job by the Cardinals there. Great kick as it's angled toward the sidelines, but goes out of bounds.
We'll see where they mark that ball. I think it went out about the 30, 35.
Wow, he's still going. Oh, they held the 32.
31 maybe.
Kick had a ton of height and went up in the air, but he just kind of angled out of bounds really quick. So at the 32, looked like a really good punt off the side. I think he got what he wanted of kicking it away from Carnes, but he just kicked it out of bounds a little bit higher than he wanted to. Saints with 38 seconds, and they will take over at the 31 of Farmington to go through. So remember, the clock does stop on a first down, so you'd really like every play to go at least 10 yards here if you possibly can. And if you get a field goal, you're going to have to stop the clock. It'd be difficult to run a field goal unit on and be able to kick here. Empty formation for Creighton with a hard snap. Farmington does it jump. Cardinals going to go with kind of a 3-4 look. Very protective, everything in front. Back to pass, quick out, going to be caught. And then Kemp does a great job of getting out of bounds at the 21. That's going to be right at the stick, so we'll see. They're going to say stepped out at the 22, about a half yard short. So 2nd down and 1 for Shiloh at the 22. Cardinal defensive backs were giving him about 8 yards, so Saints just ran a quick out right there. This time the defensive back on the left side is about 6 yards off. The guy on the left, on the right's over here is about 10, so you may see an out to the right here. Back to pass. It's a throwback screen to the left. Got to get out of bounds here. The first down, Henley is going to be, he stays on his feet. Did Carter score? I think the official's going to say stepped out at the 3, but he stops the clock. That's the beautiful thing there. He stepped out of bounds, so 24 seconds left. Cliff, if you manage this correctly, you can run the football here if you want to. You can easily get a couple plays off with 24 seconds left. So we'll see if the Saints do that. Griffin Mason's in the backfield. 24 seconds left to go. Clock will start on the snap. There's the snap. Handoff. Griffin right up the middle. Plows, dives. Did he score? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Shiloh, as the Saints put it in 34-6 with that. So we talked about the Saints had an opportunity with the time to run a couple of running plays, and they were able to do that and pound it in. And boy, Cliff, from a Farmington standpoint, that's just a demoralizing score as you finally kind of got back in the game, and now you look up and you're down by a lot of points.
Yeah, and another really, really quick drive. 14 seconds to put it in the end zone. Griffin Mason with a 3-yard touchdown run. What do I have here? His 4th score of the night.
Oh, there's a pass that's going to go backwards and incomplete on the 2-point try. Saints were trying the double pass again. I think they wanted to get Carter Henley in the back corner. Couldn't get him. Here's a replay of Griffin Mason's touchdown run. He kind of blew his own offensive lineman up, but either way, he got into the end zone.
Hey, that's been one of the most effective plays Shiloh's had tonight is Griffin running it in when they're inside the 5-yard line. We saw the past several years Bo Williams do that, be the go-to guy inside the 10-yard line. You knew who was getting the ball, and that torch has been passed to the junior running back, Griffin Mason, number 18. Again, his 4th score of the night. Griffin, 9 rushes, 105 yards, so pretty effective half here for the junior running back.
34-6 Saints lead, 24 seconds left to go. Shiloh just needs to finish this half out and do things well on the kickoff unit. Don't want to give up a cheap touchdown or a long return here and give Farmington a chance to score some points before the half, as Aiden Pullen will kick it off for the Saints, leading 34-6, up 28 here late in the first half. Aiden's going to kick it high and to the right. Farmington's going to get a chance to return with Elsick to the 11, to the 15, going left side, the 20, and he's going to be taken down. Good coverage by the Saints at the 22-yard line as they're able to get him on the ground. Max Eldridge on the stop, the freshman. For that, so yeah, actually may not have been Max, may have been somebody else. Sorry about that. So either way, couldn't. The 6th, the 8th, 0. They're hard for these old
Yeah,
eyes. Cliff.
with my eyes, that looked like number 8. It looked like Will Anderson to me.
Will with a stop, so
He had
16 seconds.
Kind of trip up and then some help getting the runner down there. So 16 seconds left here for Farmington as they will go into the half. Pretty big hole, and they will have to regroup a little bit. They've moved the ball some on Shiloh. They just haven't been able to put it in the end zone.
So we'll see if they take a knee. They're going to hand it to Elsick up the middle to the 20 and 25. He's going to plow forward to the 30, 31. He'll get 8, but that'll just pad the total stats as Farmington will probably not try to run another play with only 4 seconds left to go in the half, and they're going to let it go. And that will be the end of the first half at Champion Stadium. So the Saint fans are happy at halftime as Shiloh leads the Farmington Cardinals by a score of 34-6. And boy, Cliff, it's been the explosive drives in this game. Quick scores for the Saints all throughout the first half.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, we've talked about it the whole first half. You've got 5 scoring drives. You've got 11-second, 51, 59, 25, and 14. So I haven't added that up, but I'm going to guess that's say 2.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes and 45 seconds. 5 touchdowns in 2:45. I mean, that's just unbelievable, the quick strike ability that Shiloh has had. Farmington has not been able to stop the quick strike for some reason. They've stopped Shiloh on shorter runs, on shorter passes, but they have not been able to get away from the big play. And so that is definitely helping Shiloh. Now, Farmington themselves have just kind of shot themselves in the foot at times. Started off the game with 3 punts, had an interception there, and then another punt, and then they were going to score just a couple drives ago, throw the interception. Shiloh runs it all the way back, gets the score off of that. So it's been a good first half offensively for Shiloh, putting points on the board and getting in the end zone. Not so much for Farmington. Both teams, I feel like, even though the score was a little lopsided, both teams really need to regroup. I mean, lots and lots of penalties. They both need to improve on that. Farmington needs to figure out a way to stop Shiloh and put the ball in the end zone. Shiloh, I think, just needs to figure out, hey, let's get something offensively where we can get in sync. Let's run the ball a little bit. Let's convert some quick passes. And, again, if you've got a big play, take it. But let's have a drive here, too.
So Shiloh with a 34-6 lead here at halftime. We'll send it down to the field, and we'll be back with the second half of 2024 Shiloh Christian Football. Saints lead big at the half, 34-6.
Saints fans, please help me welcome to the field our Shiloh dance team. Please welcome to the field your Shiloh Christian Marching Band. Their show this year is titled Marching Through Magic Kingdom and features some of your favorite Disney tunes. Please enjoy a preview of their competition show with a few magical marches. The band is directed by Stephen Hunt with assistant director Chris Simmert. The color guard coach is Chloe Riggins, and the drumline coach is Steve Abishow. With drum major Danny Rivas, the band is proud to be sponsored by CertaPro Painters of Northwest Arkansas. Go Saints!
Finished, still in my zone. Yeah, still on my face. Yeah, I've been crying out to ya. Still in my soul. Hey, I got the spirit in me. You gon' see me shine. Still in my zone. Hey, just take a minute. I'ma go and talk to ya. Still in my soul. I got the spirit in me. You gon' see me shine. Still in my zone. Still in my soul. I can't do this on my own. I got bodies all around me. Wanna see everybody on. Wanna see everybody on. I took my time with every stroke. I'm like, oh my, thank you God. Look how far that we have come, yeah. Scoped in the vision, they call me Picasso. The way that I painted my verse. Something like Coco, but I'm not afraid to kill a demon looking to hurt. This a product of the faith, yeah. Infinite and never fade, yeah. In my zone all day. Elements to the grace, yeah. Interception, tell the devil never pass. I'll use all your dirty weapons, shoot them back, they call that gas. This is fuel for my obsession, this progression, this is cash. Catch me sleeping like a baby, all my bad dreams in the past, yeah. Hey, wake up and I get it. Went from zero to infinity. I know you feel it, this is my time now. It ain't finished, till it's finished, still in my zone. Yeah, still on my face, yeah, I've been crying out to ya. Still in my soul. Hey, I got the spirit in me, you gon' see me shine. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta keep going. Gotta keep grinding, even if you don't get the credit. I've been really on a dash, throwing touchdown pass. Want my contract maxed. Yeah. I done multiplied the bag. No division in my count. Y'all should really do the math. Yeah. The way that we do it, attracting the Judas, they watch how we move it. I tell you my circle, you say that you down and you gotta prove it. They say that I'm paranoid, I got my reasons. This voice in my head, they say I'm a loser, and I gotta beat it. They don't make it this far where I'm from, yeah. Can't believe that we got up out the slums, yeah. Wake up in the morning, I'm getting it, cause you don't get nothing for sleeping in. I keep on killing it, that made me infamous, infinite.
Wake up and I get it. Went from zero to infinity. I know you feel it, this is my time now. It ain't finished, till it's finished, still in my zone. Yeah, still on my face, yeah, I've been crying out to ya. Still in my soul. Hey, I got the spirit in me, you gon' see me shine. Still in my zone.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me, birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day, in every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, not what I shoulda or coulda. I remember back when I was low as a down, but now I'm up. Yeah, this all God, this ain't no luck. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Whoa. Yeah, I was down, but now I'm up, 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 up. I was down, but now I'm up. Yeah, this all God, this ain't no luck. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Yeah, yeah, I was down, but now I'm up, 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 up. I was down, but now I'm up like my name Lazarus. No Satan gon' be mad at this. I had to ask my dad if it's okay to swing my bat at this. He said, boy, if I picture this out of the park, moving so quick it's like they stuck in park. They see the numbers, but I see the heart. 10,000 hours you spit in the dark, putting in good work, even though you didn't even know that it would work. Talking about a man who grew up in woodwork, do it for the love of it, that's the way it should work, yeah, yeah. I know some people gon' look at me crazy and I'm like, for what? Man, I was stuck, I was down, but now I'm up, yeah. This all God, this ain't no love, yeah. I used to be stuck in that mud, yeah. Yeah, I was down, but now I'm up, 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 up. I was down, but now I'm
down, now I'm up like a seesaw. When I'm on a beat like an old man's lawn, better keep off. From the ground to the treetops, got clouds on my feet like Jack in the Beanstalk. Jumped off quick, went straight in a free fall. Cowboy hat and a mic singing yeehaw. Landed on my feet like a feline, put him back in the seat like a recline. Ay, what you mean I'm not worthy? Did it with a purpose, didn't need a permit. Digging from the bottom and I brought it to the surface. Mind your business now, who I worship. Who the little guy making big, big, big moves. Tick tock, turn it to a tick, 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 boom. Yeah, I talk a lot of stuff, probably thought it was a bluff, till I went and turned it where
I was down, but now I'm up. Let's go. Yeah. This all God, this ain't no love. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Yeah, yeah, I was down, but now I'm up, 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 up. I was down, but now I'm up.
I told my mama it's gonna be okay. Papa told me it's gonna be okay. I just pray that I'm walking in faith. Any other way is not the way. I've been on the run a lot of days, trying to fill my heart with other things. Lost a couple friends along the way. My only hope is they call on his name. All my life I've been running wild. How I end up the problem child. I've been hurting and pain went viral. Ooh, child, where did your mind go now? Mama told me to turn that down. I've been hurting and pain went viral. I guess I'm the problem child. I told my mama it's gonna be okay. I'm not my dad, I'll die a different way. Break out of this curse and walk in faith. Daily we paving these better days. I've been on the rock, I've been praising God. New vision in my eyes, brought me back to life. All of my demons waving goodbye. Watching this heaven fall down inside. All my life I've been running wild. How I end up the problem child. I've been hurting and pain went viral. Ooh, child, where did your mind go now? Mama told me to turn that down. I've been hurting and pain went viral. I guess I'm the problem child. Ooh, child, where did your mind go now? Ooh, child, where did your mind go now? All my life I've been running wild. I guess I'm the problem child. Save me, come save me. Save me, won't somebody save me? Save me, come save me.
Welcome back to Champion Stadium. We're at halftime. Clock's got about 2 minutes left before we get ready to start the second half of play. Saints with a 34-6 lead over the Farmington Cardinals. And so, Cliff, this game was 22-6. Farmington had a first down inside the Saint 20 and one interception later, and then you look up and the score is 34-6. Just a kind of a crazy swing in momentum there to end the first half.
Yeah, it really was. And, again, we talked about it earlier, just the big playability for Shiloh. They are being very successful. They have been very successful with the big plays. And the big plays have not gone Farmington's way. They've had a lot of small plays, and they moved the ball a little bit. They just have not been able to put it in the end zone, and that's really what matters is what's on the scoreboard. And, man, you can drive from the 20 to the 20 or 20 to the 30 or whatever. You can move the ball all over the field, but if you don't get it in the end zone, here at Champion Stadium at the blue turf, then, you know, you're not really successful. And that's been the case here for Farmington in the first half. But they will get the ball here in the second half, and I expect that they've made some halftime adjustments. Not sure how much you can make in the first game of the season. You really want to get this game over with, look at the video, break down the video, and really dissect it. It's hard to do that just in a 15, 20-minute halftime. But they'll regroup a little bit and call plays here in the second half. I'm sure that they had success with in the first half. Shiloh on the opposite side, yeah, they've got the score on the scoreboard is in their favor big time. They've got to keep the intensity up, and there's a lot of things they could do better. Some tackling in the secondary could be a lot better, and just not having some throwing lanes for Lester, the quarterback from Farmington. He's been pretty successful throwing the ball in the middle of the field against this Saint defense.
So they'll reset the clock to 12 minutes, and we'll kick off the third quarters. Aiden Pullen will kick it off for Shiloh to start the second half. Sure, both teams in the halftime huddle, Cliff, talked about what happened last year. The Saints were in control of the half last year as well. Farmington came back and pulled it out at the very end. So a little bit bigger hole this time, though, for the Cardinals as they take the opening kick. And he's going to be pushed down hard at the 26-yard line and thrown out there as Elsick on the return. So Cardinals will take over 1st and 10 at their own 27 to start the second half. Shiloh 34-6. Saints took the opening kick and on the very first play, ran a trick play, scored a touchdown and got the 2-point conversion to lead 8-0. We're up 22-6 in this game before a big interception by the Saints. And their defensive end zone returned 90 yards, and then a couple plays later, the Saints put it in the end zone. Got a stop and a score right before the first half. Ended for a 34-6 lead as Farmington. And their quarterback will come out. So 1st and 10 for Aiden Lester and his company. He's going to throw it out in the flat. It's going to be caught at the 25. And then chopped down there. Nice open field tackle by the Saints at the 25. And unfortunately, we have a Saint down on the play. Can't quite tell who that is from this angle, but
yeah, I think it was Anders Salter that was out there initially. And I don't know if this is a cramp situation or what, but he kind of went down right when he made the hard tackle there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you certainly hope it's a cramp. He does get up.
Yeah, he's up and trying to walk off the field. So hopefully that's all it is. I mean, it is a warm, muggy night here. And you see a lot of this happen in early games when it's hot here in the South. That's why we're ready for that football cold front to come through this weekend. But
that's a good sign. He walked it on his own, so it may just be a cramp.
And really, this is what, when I think about however long the season goes for the Saints this season, this is what I'm most concerned about is the depth. If Salter would have been hurt there, and if we lose a lineman or lose this person, that person, do we have the backups to compete at the 6A level to be competitive?
In trouble in the backfield, gets away, slips and falls, still being chased, and now he's sacked at the 11-yard line. Hudson Ball got him from the top, and Carter Henley got him from the bottom. So Saints combine on the sack back at the 11-yard line. And I do see Salter on the sideline, so I think it was just potentially a cramp, but hopefully good. But yeah, Cliff, you talk about that. I mean, even Farmington being a 5A school, they still have 86 players on the sideline. Talk about the Saints with 60. So, and Farmington's not as big of a school as we're going to play when we get later down the road to Benton and some of the other schools potentially.
You can thank the AAA for that multiplier rule and the competitive equity rule that Shiloh's playing up, being a smaller school.
Talk about next week's opponent, Little Rock Christian. They get 7A football this year. So quick pass out in the flat, it's going to be called. Good pass there, and they're trying to get up the field but can't. Good tackle by the Saints at the 15-yard line. And so the third down and play doesn't gain anything, and for the Cardinals, it's now 4th and 25. And for a team who needed something good to happen in a hurry on the first possession of the half, the Cardinals go 3 and out very quickly, and now we'll punt it away. Dalton Carnes back deep as Salter not back to return. I'm trying to see if we can see him on the sideline, but Carnes is back there to grab this punt. Kick very high up in the air. Carnes is just going to let this bounce to the 46, picks it up to midfield, breaks one tackle but doesn't break the second tackle, and is down at the 47-yard line. So Cardinals with good kick coverage, and Carnes a little slow to get up himself there, but kicker gets a lot of height in the air, really helps your kick coverage team. They can get down the field quickly while the ball's still up in the air. At the same time, good dive by Dalton Carnes, just getting it and getting up the field, getting a couple yards. So 1st and 10 for Shiloh, up 34-6, and so Cliff, if you play this right here, you could get a running clock on this drive, and that's what you'd love to do in the opening game of the season. They'll send Beach in motion to the left. There's a snap, going to hand it off up the middle. Big hole, 50 to 45, and Eldridge is going to be knocked off his feet at the 40-yard line. So Eldridge, who was at Farmington last year as an 8th grader, over at Shiloh this year as a 9th grader, as his dad was the coach last year for the Cardinals, has moved to the private sector, and his son is now playing for the Saints in his first year as a 9th grader. So getting some carries. He's going to get another carry here, and he's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage and nothing doing as he's thrown back hard at the 40. So no gain on that carry for Eldridge. So 2nd and 10 for Saints. Shiloh at the 40-yard line of Farmington, trying to plug it in right here and hopefully play this right and get a running clock. If they get that 35-point margin, get this game really kind of in the book. Shiloh really just trying to put the final knockout punch with Farmington right here to start the second half. Eldridge is going to stay in the game. He'll be to the left of Creighton. 2 receivers look that way. Carnes is going to come in motion behind the quarterback, Creighton. Back to pass, looking, pumps, pocket breaks down. Cole's going to run, trying to get out. He does. Cole to the 30. Oh, he's tripped up at the 23-yard line. If they don't trip him up, it's a foot race to the end zone that Creighton probably wins, but he gets it down to the 22. That'll move the chains and give the Saints a first down.
Yeah, great field vision there by the sophomore quarterback, Cole Creighton, as he saw the pocket breaking down, no receivers open, saw a lane to his right, and just used his speed to get to the outside and pick up the first down.
Carnes in motion. They're going to pitch it to him going that way to the 25, cuts it up to the original line of scrimmage and gets maybe a yard. That's about it. Ball may have came out, but they're going to say he's down. Farmington coaches think it's a fumble, but the official on the left side saying he's down. So 2nd down and basically 10 for the Saints. Really no gain there. And I think the Saints have a player down on the field. Looks like Dalton Carnes. He may be cramping up too. Dalton kind of late after the punt.
Well, and Dalton's playing both sides too. Yeah. He's playing offense here as a receiver, and he's playing some defensive secondary. And so he's out there starting and stopping a whole lot. He's doing punt returns. And I know Will Anderson has come in and spelled him every few drives on the offensive side. But, yeah, Dalton's playing a lot out there. And, again, it is a hot, muggy night, and you know, your body is, you can practice all you want during the summer, but you just can't have and practice the intensity that you have here on a Friday night under the lights in a real football game.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier before kickoff, it rained really hard for about an hour and a half, stopped about 45 minutes before kickoff. We were worried about some possible rain and thunderstorms during the game. Those have sort of held off, and we've been able to kind of play this game in a rain-free environment, which would definitely, neither team really wanted to do that to start the season in a monsoon, which is what we had about an hour before the game. So, but yeah, Cliff, just to mention, I just pulled the weather app up here. It's 94% humidity outside right now, which is as muggy as it can possibly get in Northwest Arkansas.
Well, it's not real warm here in our little box here. We've got the little wall AC unit here as Dalton's up and walking off the field here. So it's not real cool in this box. And at halftime, I thought I'd just go outside and talk to some people a little bit and cool off. No, I think I sweated more out there than I am in here. So, but it's early season. You know, this is what we face here in Northwest Arkansas.
So Will Anderson's in the game in the slot to the right on what will be 2nd and 9 for the Saints. Eldridge in the backfield. Play action, going to fire a slip screen coming this way to the 20, cuts it up and taken down at the 19-yard line. So gain of a couple there for the Saints. Will bring up a 3rd down. And Shiloh gets it out to Cohen Beach. Beach, who played a good bit as a freshman last year, particularly in the season. Really kind of made a couple big plays in the Pine Bluff playoff game. Really played well as a freshman, getting some snaps here. Eldridge is going to go off the right side to the 15, and he's going to be taken off his feet at the 11-yard line, but that's going to be enough to move the chains and give the Saints a 1st down. Won't be a 1st and goals. He was at the 11, but 1st down and 10 at the 11. Saints with 7:26 to go in the quarter, trying to step it in. Hand it off Eldridge, going right. Has a good hole to the 10, to the 5. Stays on his feet, and the freshman has his first varsity touchdown as the Saints put it on the board, 40-6. So Eldridge with an 11-yard carry off the right side. And Cliff, I have a feeling we're going to call that name a lot in the next few years. Max, the freshman, with his first varsity touchdown for the Saints, and that felt good for him. So Shiloh with a 40-6 lead in this game now. The officials are talking, and there's a flag down at the 1. I don't know if this is a celebration afterwards or not.
Result of the play is a touchdown. It's personal foul of teams, 2 on offense, personal foul 2 on defense. Those offset, play the try.
So if you heard that there, then offsetting penalties on the personal foul after thing. So Saints up 34. If they make the extra point here, it would be 35, and that would put us in a running clock situation with 7:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Saints are going to kick the extra point here, as Aiden Pullen will kick it out of the hold of Jake Bodenstein. Snap is down, kick is on its way, and Pullen drills it through for the extra point. So 7:18 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Saints have a 41-6 lead over the Farmington Cardinals. As you see the replay, Eldridge had a good block off the right side with a good cut and was able to score the touchdown to push it in. So, Cliff, that's exactly what you wanted. You push Farmington back, they go a quick 3 and out, you drive right down the field and score. Eat up a little clock in the process.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about eating up the clock, that drive, 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Are you kidding me? That's an eternity. Shiloh had 5 touchdowns in the first half that amounted combined 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and that one drive, 3 minutes and 29 seconds by the Saints. So good to see them passing the ball, running the ball, led by the freshman, Max Eldridge, who scores his first touchdown as a Shiloh Saint. He had 4 rushes for 30 yards.
So Saints 41-6 with 7:18 to go in the first half. Looks like Greenwood leads Bentonville West 41-21 at the halftime. Kind of keeping an eye on that game. We'll see if we can get a Little Rock Christian score. That's who the Saints' opponent will be next week in Little Rock. Taking it to 3. Elsick to the 10, to the 15, gets a good block to the 20, the 25, and up the sidelines, and a big hit as Elsick gets knocked out of bounds there at the 25-yard line. So pretty good job by the Saints on the coverage. Luke Morgan knocked him out of bounds, so Shiloh will have the running clock now with this game as they push it out to the 35-point margin with 6:52 to go in the quarter, as Farmington will start this drive at their own 29-yard line.
So if you're Farmington right now, I mean, the game's really out of hand, and they just want to work on some things to get ready for next week. I don't know who's on their schedule for next week, but they can, as the handoff is right, no, Lester keeps it, and Shiloh closes the gap right up the middle. I think there's a penalty there. Official stopping the clock for a minute, so we'll see what the penalty is. Looks like somebody's helmet came off, so that's why they stopped the clock there.
It's Lester, the quarterback, whose helmet came off, so they'll have to go to the backup quarterback, which should be Jackson Nickerson. He was the backup quarterback last week. And Cliff, to answer your question, Farmington will make the same trip next week. They'll just turn left instead of right. They'll go left and go down to the Harbor and play the Wildcats next week. So
a good test for Farmington next week.
Yeah, another 7A school. So they're give Coach Tice and his team credit. They did not schedule light in the non-conference, and they'll have the rival Prairie Grove as Farmington's going to take a timeout because the play clock was at 1. So Farmington does play Prairie Grove, but Prairie Grove dropped down to 4A, which was somewhat of a trickle down of the Saints moving up to 6A.
Farmington, their first time out of the half.
That got Prairie Grove back down to 4A. So the Saints really did a lot of favors for Northwest Arkansas. Gravette, Huntsville, and Prairie Grove all wound up getting back down to 4A football thanks to Little Rock Christian, PA, and the Saints moving up, kept them down a little bit. So Farmington with a timeout, they'll have a second down and 11 with 5:46 and a running clock left to go. And so Cliff will kind of preview a little bit next week. Little Rock Christian is our opponent. The Saints have won at Little Rock Christian a year ago, and so I'll let you correct me if I'm wrong, Cliff, but I believe in the series, it is of the 4-game series, I don't believe the home team has ever won a game, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we've played Little Rock Christian 6 times. Shiloh has a 4-2 advantage in that series, and I'm not sure.
Can't remember
I have
the
to
first
go back
two.
and think about them, but
I know the last 4, the home team has lost every game. And there's a handoff up the middle, and Eldridge has got going to make the stop at the 31-yard line. So a little bit of a short game. And the other interesting thing, Cliff, about you think about the last 2 years. 2 years ago here at Champion Stadium against Little Rock Christian, we had Eli Wisdom, a very big senior class. Little Rock Christian just obliterates us in the opening game. We flipped the script last year. Walker White, the big senior class at Little Rock Christian, they get to the state title game, and the Saints obliterate them on their home field. So it's been a very unique series between the two teams.
Yeah, last year's game was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Lester's going to fire out in the flat, and it's incomplete. It was intended out there for Russell Hodge. Hodge has been pretty quiet tonight. He's a guy the Cardinals depend on a lot. The Saints have really held him in check for the most part. So now 3rd down is for the Cardinals. As it becomes 4th down with the incompletion at the 33 with 4:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. It looks like Farmington will punt. See Dalton Cards run back out there, so that's a good sign. So Cards will stand at his own 35. Shadden, the punter, who's had a lot of work tonight, gets out there for one more opportunity, and so snap back, and the kick is away. Again, another good high kick. Card's going to let this go. It's going to go out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it. The official runs against the football, so we'll see.
It's got to be around the 40. That's where it looks like it will
Right
be
on the
marked.
40. Yep, at the 40, so 4:11 to go in the quarter. Saints up 41-6. Kind of looking. It looks like the same personnel group's going to stay out there. First game of the season, knowing that you're going to have to probably play a full 4-quarter game in Little Rock next week. Probably want to get these guys a lot of work to just be used to the grind of a full week. And as I say that, I think Jake Bodenstein just went in the game. Yep, Bodenstein is in at quarterback now for the Saints. Brewer goes in motion. There's a fumbled snap. Shiloh's just going to fall on it at the 38-yard line. So they had the starters huddled up, and then some of the reserves head back out there. Beach is going to stay out there with reserves, but Bodenstein's in the game at quarterback. So Shiloh will make some subs here with 3:46 to go in the 3rd quarter, but with a lost yardage play, it's 2nd down and 12.
Well, it looks like Cole Creighton's night is finished as quarterback. Had a good opening night. 13 of 16 for 132 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions.
Saints going to run it. Big hole for Griffin Mason. Breaks a tackle to the 50, the 45, the 40. Gets a really good block from Beach, and he's down to the 36 of Farmington. So Griffin runs a big run off the right side. Beach with a good downfield block, and this is where you can really get some good film if you're a wide receiver by blocking down the field. You'll like that. Saints will go tight with a formation here with Griffin Mason Cardinals bring up several guys in the box. Griffin's going to go around the right side, cuts it up to the 30, stays on his feet. 25, he's got one man hanging on to him, and he'll drag him down at the 20-yard line. Farmington with really a touchdown-saving tackle there by DeKalen Turner, the defensive back, as he got him down. But Griffin Mason's going to come out. Saints have a man down at the 33-yard line, so you again hope that's just a cramp. Looks like Mickey McIntyre, who is the center for the Saints, on the ground. So Mickey, a sophomore, starting for the Saints on the offensive line, although they are looking at his ankle a little bit, so may not be a cramp. Well, you'd hate to lose a starting center the first week of the season for sure. So hopefully he will be okay. So 2:47 left to go in the first quarter. In the second half. 2:47 to go in the third quarter here. We'll give you some scores on the left side here in just a second.
Yeah, I'm not able to find a score for Little Rock Christian El Dorado. I really have to search more for that. Greenwood's up on Bentonville West, 41-28. As McIntyre is up and limping off the field, so hopefully he will be okay and get back in the game here shortly. Pulaski Academy up at halftime over Joe T. Robinson, 20-7. Tulsa Union and Bentonville tied, 21 all in the third quarter. Fort Smith Northside and Fort Smith Southside are playing. No score yet. Springdale and Little Rock Central playing Springdale up 14-7.
So back in action here. Saints are going to pitch it coming this way to the 20, bouncing outside and taken down at the 16-yard line. As Shiloh gives that one to Chandler Kipp on the end around. 2:28 to go. Clock running is a running clock at this point. Handoff to Eldridge. He's hit in the backfield. Nothing doing there. He'll lose one on that play. So third down with 2:07 left to go in the quarter. And Cliff, I got an update for you. Little Rock Christian leads El Dorado 21-3. That game is late in the second quarter. I think they had a little weather delay in South Arkansas too. So Little Rock Christian's on the road, so they'll get their first home game next week against the Shiloh Saints. And then after the week after that, the Saints will head the road again as they go to Tulsa to take on Lincoln Christian. Will Anderson in motion to the left. Bodenstein looks that way. He's going to want to throw the screen back this way. Got a man wide open to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Nice cut back and into the end zone for a Shiloh Christian touchdown is number 20, Ethan Brewer. So a little screen pass, and the Saints get it in for the touchdown with 1:29 left to go. And so, boy, Cliff, you talk about execution. That was about as well done as you could do it.
Yeah, great job there by the offensive line. Just clearing out a lane for Ethan Brewer to catch the little screen pass. Bodenstein put it right on the money. Good blocking downfield, and Brewer runs it in.
So Jake Bodenstein with his first varsity touchdown pass. Snaps a little high, and Pullen's kick hits the left upright. It is no good with 1:29 left to go in the third quarter. So you see the replay here. Sent Anderson in motion. Looked like they were going to run left. They came back with a screen to the right. Bodenstein with a good play and just well-executed screen. Only one defender out there for Farmington to go through. So 47-6. The Saints move up the score to 41 points in the half as they'll get ready to kick it off here in the third quarter.
So Shiloh making some amends for what happened last year at Farmington. And it worked out fine for Shiloh in the playoffs and then getting back to the state championship game. But they know, the guys returning and the coaches, they knew that in the second half they didn't play their best. They wanted to come out and make a statement tonight that they're the better team on the field tonight, and they've shown it, 47-6 here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that even though it's a completely different team and a completely different season, just the Saints are fortunate. We don't lose very often, so you remember the losses, and they hurt. And the Saints wanted to get a little revenge tonight, and they have. Elsic's going to let the kick smartly go out of bounds at the 15, so Farmington will take over. It'll be interesting to see when the Cardinals start doing some of their subs. So far, they left the starters primarily in the game. Shiloh is going to put several subs defensively on the field on the defensive end here with 1:29, and again a running clock here in the third quarter. Shiloh leads 47-6.
Ball be placed at the 35, first down.
Hear the referee say that it'll be at the 35 after the kick out of bounds. So Lester still in at quarterback for Farmington, so they haven't changed anybody out yet. There's a snap. They're going to hand it to the right. Shiloh's going to take him off his feet. Nice open field tackle at the 35 for basically no gain. We'll try to get some different Saints names called as they sub a good bit here in the half. That was Gray Colbert who made that stop for the Saints from the corner spot. Back to pass. Lester going to run the screen this way. And again, good open field tackle by the Saints at the 39-yard line. As that time they ran the screen to Johnson, who had a big first half, really had some very good plays there for Farmington in the second quarter before the interception. Kind of had led them back into this game before the game really changed. 30 seconds to go, third quarter, running clock again. Saints 47 and Farmington 6. Lester and the Cardinals will get one more snap here in the third quarter. They're going to let Lester keep it on the left side. He's going to try to break one tackle, and he's taken down at the 41. So the Saints get him on the ground there. And it'll bring up a fourth down for the Cardinals, as that was A.J. Yolanin on the stop. So Yolanin came up from the safety spot. Farmington will see the third quarter end with a 47-6 score. And to go through, and Cliff, here's what you like. If your coaches never stop coaching. First guy on the field to congratulate his second group of guys was Tucker Barnard. He's given all those guys a high five on the field, as they've done a good job against what's Farmington still starters are out there. So good job by the second group of guys out there.
Absolutely, and that's what you want to see. I mean, again, the lack of depth that in numbers, I should say, that Shiloh has. You don't want to see your top 22 go out there and just dominate, and then the next 22 just kind of be subpar. You want your next 22 to raise their game up and be on the level close to what the starting 22 is. And so Coach Barnard is realizing that. And Coach Henley from the defensive side, and I see all the coaches just kind of patting guys on the helmet. They like the effort they see here and the intensity that they're showing on the field tonight.
So fourth down for the Cardinals at their own 42. They need to get to the 45 to keep this drive alive as we start the fourth quarter. Back to pass, looking in trouble. Oh, he gets away. Now Lester's got all kinds of room to run. He's going to throw it deep down the field, and he overthrows his receiver at the 21. A diving effort there by Ramon Nye, but goes incomplete, so the Cardinals turn it over on downs, and the Saint defense, the reserves kind of get a stop, so we'll take that. It's a really tough pass, and you know, Cliff, I know it's a big lead in your quarterback. Boy, Lester had lots of yards to run if he had wanted to pick it up and go right there, but held it back. So Shiloh will take over at the 42 of Farmington. Shiloh will get some different guys. Looks like Brody Francis is going to check in the game as well for the first time. Max Aldridge at receiver. A couple different offensive linemen who are running out there as well. Parker Thomas out there for his first action. Alex James out there for some action. Eldridge is saying we need a quarterback out here.
Yeah.
So.
Eldridge is like, I mean, I'll take the direct snap and run it, but
like to have a lead blocker. Play clock's at 17, so plenty of time on the play clock for there. A little bit of a high snap as Eldridge is going to get the carry, and he's going to plow forward for a yard, and that's it. He'll be pushed back there. So second down and 9. Said we'll do our best to try to get you names and numbers of some different Saints who run into the game. Griffin Harvey, a sophomore running back, looks like he's going to check in as well for Eldridge. Stack formation for the left for the Saints. 10:07 to go in the third quarter. Shiloh will shift. Will Rieger to the right. There's a handoff going this way. Good hole to the 35, and going to be taken down there. So good run as Griffin Harvey was in the game, so he takes it down there. Manageable third down now for the Saints, 3rd down and 2 with 9:49 left to go. Harvey will be in the backfield on 3rd and 2. We'll see if the Saints give him one more carry. Had a good run on the last play. Ooh, big lightning bolt above the stands on the Farmington sideline. So, and Harvey is going to get the carries. He's going to lose one that time. 3 defenders jump up. So, by Farmington, will get a loss. Will be 4th down for the Saints. And
yeah, I don't know if Harvey was committed to the run and hitting that hole at that on that particular play. He ran the ball a little tentative. He's a young player, and you see starting defensive linemen, linebackers come crashing in. You know, you may want to just kind of duck away a little bit, but he'll learn to hit that hole a little bit harder.
Back to pass, Bodenstein looks left, didn't have anything, still has time, pretty good protection. Now it breaks down, and he's going to be sacked back at the 42-yard line. So pretty good job by the offensive line, gave him time, just no one could get open. And the Saints will turn it over on downs with 8:40 left to go in the game. And Cliff, I don't think anyone else saw the lightning bolt that we saw, so because we're still playing.
Well, I checked the radar, and it's miles away. It's just way up in the sky. Looked worse than it really is. So moving away from us, we're fine. We've just got 8 minutes here running clock.
Yeah, we don't want this last 8 minutes to go. We do not want a 30-minute delay. We'll have to let that finish out. 47-6. Saints lead, 8:10 to go in this football game. In week number 1 of the season. There's a snap as Farmington's going to just...
Great pursuit by the defensive line there. No blocking at all by Farmington. And Shiloh just came unassisted. 3 defenders and making the tackle there.
William White on the stop for the Saints as he got in the backfield quickly. I think Matt Kimbrough also won the stop. So Farmington has taken, looks like their starters out as well. So this is a part of game, Cliff, though, that you're fun. Is where you get an opportunity if you're a younger guy to make some plays, get on film, show, hey, somebody goes down, I'm ready for the call. Back to pass. Quarterback is Lester. He's going to step up, and he is, nearly sacked. Gets away. Now he's running all the way back to his own 20, still being pursued. Now he's running for the 25, turns and throws. It's incomplete at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
What an incredible job by Lester, just running all over the place to stay alive, and then kept his eyes up and found a receiver who was actually open.
Yeah, that play could have been blown up like 3 times, and he was pursued over on the left side, on the Farmington side. Then he was pursued in the middle, and then over on the Shiloh side, worked his way back to the middle of the field, almost had a completion.
So 3rd down and long for the Cardinals. They need to get all the way to the Saint 48 for a 1st down. So, again, the reserve Saints, man, just doing a tremendous job on defense. They are getting after the quarterback, Lester. There's a snap. He's in trouble again. Back to pass, rolling, and this time he will not get away as he's sacked at the 25-yard line. Now he gets up and...
Well, he's getting on his receivers for maybe, not running the right routes and not seeing the signs there, and he's frustrated. He's been running a lot tonight, so I get it, man. Lester has done all he could from the quarterback position and just not able to get the ball in the playmaker's hands like he'd like to.
Yeah, you could tell Lester was trying to tell his receiver, man, they're blitzing. You gotta break the route off there, and he didn't do it. And Lester takes the sack with 5:56 to go in the game. 47-6. It has been just a domination from Shiloh since about the midpoint of the 2nd quarter in this game. There's a snap and a punt. Nobody back deep. Saints will just let this roll and go away as it will roll inside the 30 and then picked up and down to the 28-yard line with 5:37 left to go. So Shiloh, no need for a return there. Just let that kick go. Place punt safe defense and give the offense one more opportunity. Probably the last one of the night with 5:26 left to go. But, Cliff, we talk about Little Rock Christian kind of previewing next week a little bit as we go down there. We talk about the equity rule of the Saints going up to 6A football. Same thing for Little Rock Christian. They're now playing 7A football. They get to line it up with Bryant and Conway and those guys every week.
Yeah, it's a similar situation to us. Obviously, they're a private school, very similar to us, but they are playing in a division that in a classification that will be be really kind of eye-opening for them as the handoff is to the right side and nothing doing.
Oglesby on the carry there.
But, you know, we've had a great on-the-field relationship with Little Rock Christian. Like I said, we played 6 total times in our history. Shiloh leads the series 4-2. And a lot of those games through the years have been great football games. And last year was no different. Great for Shiloh. I don't think Little Rock Christian enjoyed it, but Shiloh going down there and just dominating the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. And it'll be a test for us as the pass is thrown behind the receiver by Bodenstein. 4 minutes,
Tristan Carpenter.
15 seconds remaining. Clock continues to run, but it'll be we've got to play well if we want to go down there and win. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's a non-conference game. Has no impact on what we do conference-wise and trying to get back to Little Rock to play for a state championship. But you want to go down there and play well. You want to go down there and do what we did last year and dominate the trenches, run the offense, make great tackles. As you see, Bodenstein pass picked off, and he just lofted it up there. Very easy pick for the cornerback there for Farmington. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Shiloh will be coming in, you know, on a high from beating Farmington. We need a great week of practice this week. You know, it's a short week. Shiloh will practice on Monday. It's Labor Day, but they'll practice and or have film and do what they do and try to keep a regular schedule. But it's a different week, and so coaches are always a little concerned about that. When there's a holiday, when it's like homecoming, and just special events that kind of disrupt the practice schedule a little bit. So we'll see how Shiloh handles that.
Lester still out there at quarterback. He's going to hand it this way and trying to get to the corner and going to be taken down at the 28 by a host of Saints there. But yeah, Cliff, you know, last year we had the schedule where after the first week of having off, you played 10 straight weeks. This year a little different with the new schedule. Saints will play the first 3 weeks before having the 4th week off of the season and then get the big matchup with Greenwood to kick off conference play. So playing 3 straight weeks, next 2 on the road at Little Rock Christian and Lincoln Christian. Of course, Lincoln Christian won the state championship in Oklahoma last year in their classification. So, and the interesting thing about that game, Cliff, if you remember, we had a penalty that wiped off a touchdown in the last 2 minutes, or the Saints probably walk out of there with a 21-20 win, but they wound up losing 20-14. That was the closest game Lincoln had all year. So the Saints gave them almost the only loss they had in the entire season as they ran the table. There's a handoff going right, and breaking one tackle, nice big hit at the 17-yard line. Saints come up and make the stop. See if I think that was 97, maybe 87, Josiah. Hard to see if it's 87 or 97. Maybe Josiah Campbell on the stop. Either way, minute 43 to go. Farmington trying to see if they can put it in the end zone one more time before we get out of here.
And the Saint defense would like to make a stop here. As you see, great pursuit there, holding on to the jersey. That was not a horse collar, but holding on to the jersey.
Luke Morgan
was the
with
Saint
a stop.
Defender there, and then he was just waiting for his buddies. He was hoping they get there a little sooner there, because I know that wears your fingers and your hands out if you're being drugged just by your fingertips. And able to stop the runner, and clock continues to run. I know this defense wants to keep Farmington out of the end zone and just finish this off, holding on to single digits here.
Yeah, you see Drew Ramsey in at corner here. Saints throwing some different guys out there. Lester's back to pass. He's going to run to the right side. He breaks one tackle, and then he's drugged down from behind by Morgan. That'll be a horse collar. And then Farmington is going to get a personal foul for a blindside block. So we're going to get offsetting penalties here. 49 seconds left to go in the game.
The clock is going to continue to run, but they stopped it.
So we'll have offsetting penalties, a horse collar tackle on the Saints, and then a blindside block on Farmington. So probably a little frustration in that block for the Cardinals, but somewhat understand that. Down 41 points in their opener. Farmington travels to Harbor next week, so they'll just go down a different way on 4-12, and then they play Prairie Grove before they jump into conference play. And it's been a rough night for the Cardinals, but in all likelihood, you're probably still looking at the best team in the 5A West.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably comes down to them.
Personal foul, horse collar, number 10 on the defense. After the play is over, personal foul, number 54, unnecessary roughness. After the penalties are being enforced, it will replay 3rd down.
Yeah, I think P. Ridge will have something to say about that. Harrison will have something to say about that. So we'll see how that shakes out for Farmington, and they're in Class 5A. I gotta be honest, I'm not gonna be following it as closely as you know. I mean, I don't keep up with 4A now. We're not in 4A. We don't play those teams, and more concerned about these new opponents that around the state that we'll be playing.
Yeah, we look at Lake Hamilton, team we've never seen before. I can't say I've ever seen Lake Hamilton play. So
yeah, I mean, I called out. You know, we're playing 5 new teams this year. Mountain home. We'll go on the road to play Mountain home. We got Portsmouth Southside here, Russellville home, Lake Hamilton home. We'll go to Van Buren. Now, Shiloh is familiar with, as the pass is complete there at the sidelines. Shiloh's familiar with some of these teams because of 7-on-7 and team camps. So it's not like we have no clue who they are. We have just not played them on Friday nights in a game that matters under the lights, you know, for a record. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a great ride, and if you cannot make the games here at home or on the road, you can always catch us here, and we try to come on the air about 10 minutes before kickoff, so about 6:50 every Friday night.
Back to pass. He's going to fire. It's going to go a little high, but caught at the 15 to the 10, and then going to be taken down there with 4 seconds. So that should end the game. And so the defense will get a stop, and that will end it. So the Shiloh Saints are 1-0 on the year as they dominate the Farmington Cardinals by a final score of 47-6 to start the season. And so, well, it wasn't really a revenge game. Still feels good after the tough loss last year at Farmington to get through. But more importantly, Cliff, you start the season off the way you want to, really dominating a game.
Absolutely. I mean, the tone was set with those big plays in the first half. And Farmington just did not have an answer to stop the big plays. Thankfully for Shiloh, they were able to have some big plays and score off of them. And you win a game at home. You protect your home turf, and you kind of offset a loss that you've had against these Cardinals last season. So Shiloh will move all time to 8-3 against Farmington, and we'll move on to, as you said, Little Rock Christian next week, about 3 hours southeast of us here. And great stadium, great environment there at Little Rock Christian. Encourage all the fans to make the drive down there and support these Saints. It's a fun team to watch.
Yeah, if you can't make it next week, we'll be on the air at 6:50 from Little Rock as the Saints and Little Rock Christian will continue there. It's been just a great series. Been some great games between the two the last few years. And Shiloh will try to get the streak going and win 2 in a row down in Little Rock. So we will wrap it up. Saints are 1-0 on the year as they finish off the Farmington Cardinals by a final score tonight of 47-6. Good night, everybody.